What's worse, though, is the hypocrisy. It's always a hypocrisy. And I say this because this should concern the conservatives. Thank you, Swishy Raiders. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Hearts in the chat for Swishy Raiders every single day. You guys are great. So she must be up early. Anyway, the conservatives, the constitutional advocates, the free speech warriors who all you did was bitch and moan for years, claiming that your speech was being suppressed. You should really care about this. You should really care about this. Everybody should care about this. The whole point of free speech is to have free speech. Let's simplify it. Doesn't mean you're free from consequences. The WGA, the Writers Guild of America, which is they're the ones that when there was the writers' strike, that's why you saw a lot of live programming taken off the air because they didn't have their writers. A lot of comedians start as writers. I think about Conan O'Brien, Seth Meyers, people like that. They got their start at Saturday Night Live as writers. So the WGA is a highly respected and seriously regarded institution. So this is a statement that the WGA put out. The right to speak our minds and to disagree with each other, to disturb even, is at the very heart of what it means to be a free people. It is not to be denied, not by violence, not by the abuse of governmental power, nor by acts of corporate cowardice. As a guild, we stand united in opposition to anyone who uses their power and influence to silence the voices of writers or anyone who speaks in dissent. If free speech applied only to ideas we like, we needn't have bothered write the Constitution. What we have signed onto, painful as it may be at times, is the freeing agreement to disagree. Shame on those in government who forget this founding truth. As for our employers, our words have made you rich. Silencing us impoverishes the entire world. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Sinclair Broadcasting, which is the largest ABC affiliate, which is the one that really pushed hard for some consequences. And by the way, Jimmy Kimmel has not been fired. His show will be preempted indefinitely. So Sinclair Broadcasting, the nation's largest ABC affiliate group, objects to the comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. This is their statement. As discussed with ABC earlier today, Sinclair decided to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live beginning tonight. Following these discussions, ABC suspended production of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Quote, Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate. What did he say? I want to know. Here it is again.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
That's what they used in the statement. What did he say? So back to the Sinclair statement. Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment for our country, said Vice Chairman Jason Smith. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectfully. He's not a broadcaster. He's a comedian who hosts a late night talk show. His show is broadcast, sure. Constructive dialogue in our communities is necessary. We appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. So do you know what Sinclair has decided to do instead of airing Jimmy Kimmel Live? Sinclair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday evening during Jimmy Kimmel Live's time slot. The special will also air across all Sinclair stations this weekend. In addition, Sinclair is offering the special to all ABC affiliates across the country. Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also call upon Mr. Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we ask Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident the appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Sinclair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday during Jimmy Kimmel's Live time slot. I don't recall an in remembrance for the hundreds of school-aged children that were fucking murdered by right-wing fucks. I don't remember one of those. I don't remember any in remembrance ceremonies for black men, black women to be unalived by the police. I don't remember any in remembrance moments for women left to bleed out on hospital tables across our country because their rights to their body have been taken away. Trans people under threat every single day. I don't remember any in remembrance moments for any of them. Follow the fucking money. Follow the fucking money. Sounds good, Sam. Follow the fucking money. The two young people that were the black man that was found from a tree in Mississippi. And then we're going to get into the Brian Kilmeade stuff in just a second. Cry harder, right? Okay. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
What's on your mind?
Well, the real travesty is for Jimmy Kimmel and like that network was there was more of a controversy of him before than for 20 years that was ongoing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Why do you have Charlie Kirk as your picture? Yeah,
because Jimmy Kimmel never even told a joke or anything funny for 20 years. He should have been fired a while.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, MAGA hates free speech. They do. They despise it. It's not the issue, though. This should be concerning to the free speech warriors. You see when we talk about things in terms of, how we on the left, the ideological left, the people that truly do care about the Constitution, the people who truly do care about freedoms, this should disturb everyone. You guys got all up in your fucking shit because the Biden administration asked Meta, what are your policies for policing misinformation regarding C-19? And would you consider addressing it? And you guys lost your fucking shit. And here you are celebrating the president of the United States, bragging about pulling licenses, about suing journalists, about denying access. Okay. I'll play you the sound because Brendan Carr, who is the FCC chairperson, went on with Benny Johnson, who is such a great fucking journalist. I would pay large money to sit in a room with Benny Johnson and debate him and fucking own his ass because it would be so simple. Where is that sound? And then I'm going to play you the ultimate. And then I'm going to play you the bullshit hypocrisy because it's easy to dunk on it. This is Brendan Carr, who's the Trump-appointed FCC chair, went on with Benny Johnson talking about just this. Listen to these chilling words.
Broadcasters, and frankly, I think that it's really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we licensed broadcaster are running the possibility of fines or license revocation from the FCC if we continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion. So
pattern of news distortion? Pattern of news distortion? Oh, that's fucking rich.
So I think, again, Disney needs to see some change here, but the individual licensed stations that are taking their content, it's time for them to step up and say, this, garbage, to the extent that that's what comes down the pipe in the future, isn't something that we think serves the needs of our local communities.
Now, who do you think he's telling that message to? And who's the fucking arbiter? Who's the arbiter? Who's the arbiter for that? Again, you can't claim to be an advocate for free speech, and just because someone hurts your feelings, you disagree. This is what fascism is. We have to stop talking about it in terms of authoritarianism in America on the rise. It's here. That is full-blown fascism. Full-blown fascism. And there's no denying it. It is there. It's right in front of us, and you can see it, and we don't even need to talk about it. Good morning, Thomas. How are you today?
Good. I just was curious if you have a line, like if you know what your line is, where you're like, okay, this is enough. I'm getting out. I don't know. I live in Missouri, and I've got 3 daughters, so I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to just bailing out of here.
Everybody's got to make their own decisions. I don't blame you. I mean, are your daughters young?
Yeah, 10 and younger.
Yeah. That's a call that a lot of people are going to have to make, and quite frankly, it's probably part of the plan, right? Yeah. I understand. I can't. I appreciate you asking me, man, but I can't give you advice on that. I can't. I would just say, trust your gut.
Yeah.
And whatever your gut tells you, especially if you are committed to raising your kids in a world where your daughters have rights to their body, and you care about the rights, you care about the rights of others, then you got to make your own decision there. I don't want to give you advice on that, because that's such a personal decision. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm sticking around because I've got a lot less road in front of me than I do behind me. Sure. But I'm in it for the fight. So I'm willing to fight for you and your kids.
Yeah, and that's my wife and I were talking about too. It's like, if we didn't have the kids, we would definitely stay and do everything. But it's like with kids, you just, I don't know, it makes it tougher.
It does. I can hear it in your voice. I'm sorry that it's important to have these conversations. It's important to have these conversations, but a lot of people are going to be faced with some stark realities.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, Thomas. Have a good day. Be safe.
You too.
I think a lot of people are, and I get asked that all the time. I can only speak for myself, right? I can only speak for myself. I can only sit here and say, look, I'm not leaving. I'm here. I may move here or there, but for now I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm willing to fight for others who, may not be in a position to fight for themselves because they've got things that they've got to do. I got to take care of their families, right? I mean, I've been having these conversations with my kids, in particular my daughter, who's about to turn 18, right? And by the way, if those of you know, the turning of 18 suddenly gives someone all kinds of power that they think they have, that they don't actually have. So it's been interesting conversations. Anyway, these are tough conversations. These are really, really difficult conversations, but we have to have them, right? We have to have them. And I wish I could. I can't give advice on that. I would say just do what's best for you and your family. Okay. So let's go then. Now we know what Jimmy Kimmel said, and I don't even know what the fuck that he said. Here's the problem, though. When you have a particular slant on things in America today, it's really easy to go after the people that you hate. Matthew Dowd, who was a journalist that I respected, who used to go on segments on MSNBC all the time, was fired from MSNBC. Okay? This is what he said. Let's see. In an interview on MSNBC about the shooting, Dowd said in part, quote, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place. Around 3 p.m. on September 10th, when reports began emerging about the shooting, MSNBC correspondent Katie Tur interviewed Dowd about the attack. In part, he theorized whether the incident was, quote, a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration. Dowd said Kirk had been, quote, one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who was constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think this is the environment we are in. He was fired for that. He was fired for that. And partly, that's not, it's just, he was fired for it. I mean, words have actions, and actions lead to consequences. That is reality. That is just the fucking reality that we live in. People walk around thinking that your free speech doesn't mean you're going to always get away with it. I always go back to hateful things lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that this is the environment that we are in. He got fired for that. So we know Colbert. Now, Colbert, the ratings were in the shitter. Okay, they really were. They were losing advertiser dollars. I love Stephen Colbert, but sadly, we can make some connections that it was because of the things he said about Trump, and that may be partly true, but it was an economic decision, I think. I really do. They've carried people in the past before. Instead of trying to rebrand the show or repackage the show, it just started to lose a lot of money. Kimmel, again, late night TV, not as popular as it once was. Not as popular as it once was. But you heard the president's statements, you know, Colbert now, Kimmel's next, then Fallon, blah, 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 blah. The MAGA hypocrisy, right? It's not the words, it's not the guns, it's the person. It's not the words, it's the person, right? So the hypocrisy from the constitutionalists on the right, claiming that, all you guys did was suppress our speech, silencing conservative voices. Meanwhile, conservative voices dominate social media. So then we get to this. I'll play the sound. We'll talk about it.
NBC has already apologized, but Dowd should be fired immediately.
Say something. I'm sorry, but that he should be. I mean, I'm advocating for people to be fired. He should be fired for that.
And Matthew Dowd, there are reports now that he has been fired. He won't be back on the air. He shouldn't be back on television in general. Good. That's a good first start.
I know that Dowd got fired, but you have to remember that MSNBC and places like CNN, they create a comfort zone for this kind of thinking. And
they fired Matthew Dowd because Matthew Dowd said hateful words lead to hateful actions.
And they fired this guy Dowd from MSDNC, who's a terrible guy, terrible human being, but they fired him.
Okay, so remember all that, right? So that was they were supporting, they were advocating for things. They were I got you, don't worry. I got you. You guys know how my brain works. I got the receipts. They advocated for Matthew Dowd and Jimmy Kimmel to be fired for what? What did they say? Matthew Dowd pointing out that, hey, this kind of speech leads to actions, and these actions can lead to consequences. Jimmy Kimmel says, listen, MAGA's trying to push this off on anybody but themselves, but yet we have more evidence that this person was radicalized by conservatism than anything else. And his show gets preempted indefinitely, then replaced by a Charlie Kirk remembrance ceremony. And then on Fox News, Brian Kilmeade said this.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them. And it actually happened when we were...
Involuntary lethal injection for houseless people. Involuntary lethal injection for houseless people. We should just unalive them. 4 days later,
Together on Wednesday, Lawrence, in the morning, we were discussing the murder of Irina Zaruska in Charlotte, North Carolina, and how to stop these kinds of attacks by homeless, mentally ill assailants, including institutionalizing or jailing such people so they cannot attack again. Now, during that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people.
First of all, that one part right there, I'm aware that not all mentally ill houseless people, implying that all houseless people are mentally ill. That's the implication he's making by that statement, that all houseless people are mentally ill. 20% of our houseless population are veterans. Brian Kilmeade on Fox, Rupert Murdoch-owned entity, a safe space for the president, called for the involuntary lethal injection of veterans, and then implied that everybody who's houseless is mentally unstable.
Act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion. Lawrence, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. I'll see you tomorrow.
MSNBC.
The reason conservatives and MAGA should care about this so much is that you're now in charge. You're now in power. Your FCC is going after the broadcasting licenses of these entities that challenge your bullshit. When a Democrat wins the White House, when Democrats retain control of Congress, my expectation would be Fox News loses their broadcast license permanently. And I'm a free speech and freedom of the press advocate. But if that's the way you want to play it, Jimmy Kimmel saying that, hey, MAGA's trying to deflect this off of their own, what the fuck did he say? Matthew Dowd saying, words lead to actions, actions lead to consequences. Charlie Kirk spread hate. He did. Those cowardice Comcast and Sinclair and the ABC News Network and Disney bent the fucking knee because of fucking money. And Fox News has that on their airways? Brian Kilmeade saying the houseless population should be subjected to involuntary lethal injection. They should just be unalived. 20% of the houseless population in America are veterans. 20%. What did he really say? Didn't you just hear it? What did he really say? Was that AI? Was that edited? I'll just play it again for you.
ABC's already apologized, but Dowd should be fired immediately.
Say something. I'm sorry, but he should be. I mean, I'm advocating for people to be fired. He should be fired for that.
And Matthew Dowd, there are reports now that he has been fired. He won't be back on the air. He shouldn't be back on television in general. Good. That's a good first start.
I know that Dowd got fired, but you have to remember that MSNBC and places like CNN, they create a comfort zone for this kind of thinking.
Those stations create a comfort zone? What?
Like, they fired Matthew Dowd because Matthew Dowd said hateful words lead to hateful actions.
They fired this guy Dowd from MSDNC, who's a terrible guy, terrible human being, but they fired him.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them.
Again, think about what he's saying. We're spending billions of dollars on mental health in the houseless population. Okay, I say let's spend more. Conservatives, you pro-life fucks, let's truly invest in helping these people. Our friend USMC Angry Vet says it's a lot easier to unalive a veteran than it is to care for one. It's a lot cheaper to unalive a veteran than it is to care for one. And they're like, oh yeah, we're spending billions of dollars to try to help people. How dare us?
don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail.
Take the resources we're going to give you, or we're going to lock you up in jail. So either accept the help that we're offering, or we're going to violate your human rights, your civil rights, your Fourth Amendment rights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and we're just going to throw you in fucking jail. Okay.
The way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Involuntary lethal injection or just kill them. Yeah, certainly sounds like slavery. No doubt about it. Or worse. Where are you, constitutionalists? Where are you, defenders? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you in regards to your claim to love the Constitution? Where the fuck are you? Why are you not more angry than we are? You're the ones that claim to love veterans so much. You don't. You're the ones that claim to love liberty so much. You don't. You're the ones that despise suppression of speech. You don't care. You're the ones that claim you don't want government overreach, and yet you're whacking it in the corner when you see it. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. Your despise for women, for brown people, for black people, for the queer community, for the disabled community, for the infirmed, for the working parents, for the single moms, do the best she can, for women and girls who've been raped. You don't give a fuck about any of them. You've been told to hate them so much that you are cheering on everything that you said you were opposed to. You were all up in your shit. The Biden administration asking Meta and other social media companies, what is your policy on mis and disinformation regarding C-19? That's it. That's it. Your speech wasn't suppressed. Your whiteness wasn't under threat. It is now, for sure. And you don't fucking care. You don't care. If that's the game you want to play, in my utopia, day one of the next Democratic administration with control of Congress, Fox News is off the air the next day. License is pulled. That's it. Game over. Turning Point USA disbanded. That's it. Game over. You want to fucking play? Then let's fucking play. Two things that the president has said in regard to this. Great news for America. The ratings challenged Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to, it's not canceled, it's preempted. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it NBC, President DJT. Nothing to see here, though, right? You free speech advocates. Nothing to see here, right? You constitutionalists. Nothing to see. Nothing to see here. Why are you MAGA? And Jay said this yesterday when, by the way, if anybody wants to watch the replay, when RTP joined us, you can watch the replay on my YouTube. And he talked about this, right? Our democracy, the future of our democracy, to be able to have another year, never mind another 250, is dependent on Republicans. It is. Republicans could introduce articles of impeachment in the House. Republicans could vote to remove from office in the Senate. Democrats don't have the majority. They can't. Yeah, all the things that you guys lost your fucking shit over. All of it. And to be honest, part of me agrees with you that we should not be suppressing speech. That we should not be telling journalistic organizations what to do. Because that is what fascism is. And you know how I know? Because I'm a student of history. That's how I know. And this shit matters to me. And I look for fucking patterns. And I'm like, yeah, well, this shit's happened before. Yeah. A core tenet of authoritarianism in regards to the press. Listen to what I'm about to read to you. Authoritarian leaders often centralize control over media outlets, either by state ownership, common in fully authoritarian systems like North Korea or elsewhere, or by heavily regulating and licensing private media. They aim to ensure that only pro-regime narratives are broadcast and that criticism is suppressed. Independent journalists and outlets face censorship, harassment, imprisonment, or even violence. Regimes portray them as foreign agents or enemies of the state, framing dissent as disloyalty. For example, in Russia, under Vladimir Putin, many independent outlets have been labeled foreign agents and shuttered. Authoritarian governments create or co-opt media channels to flood the information space with propaganda and falsehoods. This crowds out factual reporting and creates confusion. They often use emotional appeals, nationalism, and conspiracy theories to sustain popular support. Does that sound familiar at all? Does that sound familiar? That is a pretty common tenet for how authoritarian regimes control power. Go to the media. Control the narrative. Don't call for Brian Kilmeade to be fired because of what he said. Because what he said led directly to violence. A day after he said that, his statement about houseless people, take them out. 13 people hurt in 2 mass shootings at Minneapolis homeless camp. At least 13 people have been wounded, 5 critically, in 2 shootings that erupted over a span of 12 hours at a homeless encampment in Minneapolis. I believe the number is 8 people that ended up passing away. The shootings on Monday marked the 4th and 5th mass shooting to occur in Minneapolis in the past 3 weeks, including one on August 27th at the Annunciation Catholic School that left 2 children deceased and 21 people injured. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the city's latest mass shooting unfolded Monday night at a notorious homeless encampment in southeast Minneapolis, in which 8 people were shot and an estimated 30 shots were fired. Words lead to consequences, don't they? It's not the words, apparently, though. It's the person. So Brian Kilmeade should be held responsible, right? It's not the words. Shouldn't be the words that he said, right? Because if it's not the gun, it's the person. It's not the words, it's the person. So are we going to hold Brian Kilmeade responsible for that? Am I lagging? I can't tell. Taste the cancel culture? I have a job. Yeah, I do. I'm in here 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday, calling out MAGA hypocrisy. And then I run a business. And then I'm involved in another business. And then I'm involved in another business. That's what liberals do. We work. I'm not even, I am liberal, but I'm not a liberal. Liberals aren't progressive enough. So yeah, so words lead to consequences, don't they? Yeah. Yep. Common tactics in authoritarian regimes used against the press: censorship and prior restraint. Prevent critical content from appearing. China's Great Firewall blocks foreign media. Media ownership concentration. Control coverage indirectly. Example, state allies buying up TV and newspapers. There's already this massive push to centralize. We already have a few media companies that own most television stations, whether it be Sinclair or whatever. And then same thing, I was involved back in the independent days of radio, and there was independent stations across the country. And companies like Westwood One and Clear Channel came in and bought up all these stations, and all of us are like, what the fuck is going on? We don't want to be homogenous. Like everything, it's like monopolies, right? It's like consolidation of power. Who does that benefit? Guess. Suppression of labor. Who does that benefit? Same people. Legal harassment. Tied journalists up in courts defending lawsuits. Example, defamation, criminal libel charges. Sound familiar? I'm going to sue ABC because I don't like the things that they said about me. Don't forget this.
Smart people don't like me.
Intimidation and violence to deter investigations. Arrests, beatings, unalivings. You send your mob out to go after journalists. You think they're safe? Licensing and accreditation laws. Ooh. Exclude critical outlets or suspend licenses. Revoking credentials of critical reporters. Wow. We've seen that happen numerous times. Like every fucking day. Okay. Internet shutdowns and throttling. Hey now. Limit access to independent info. Especially during protests or elections. Think about coverage of events and the violence perpetrated by white Christian nationalists in America. Do you think people if people were watching Newsmax or Fox, do you think they got the same coverage of January 6th? Of course not. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. Just like everything else. We've talked about this, and I've tried to help you guys navigate through confirmation bias and cognitive dissonance, and about how headlines are damaging. Don't forget the Wall Street Journal, just a day or so after the suspect or the alleged perpetrator in the Charlie Kirk assassination made claims about transgender and leftist ideology on the shell casings, and the right fucking ran with that like crazy, only to have to retract the story 2 days later. And the headline, trans ideology found on bullet casings. Only for like a day and a half later, they had to retract the story, say, yeah, no, we don't have any information on that at all. We'll just put it in a little editor's note, 1 square inch on the back page. Misinformation campaigns undermine trust in facts. Huh. State troll farms and bot networks. Impact on society. Erosion of accountability. Without independent media, corruption, abuse, and policy failures go unchallenged. Sound familiar? Polarization and fear. Propaganda fosters us versus them thinking and fear of dissent. By design, right? Keep us fighting this way so we don't fight the real enemy. Democratic backsliding. Controlling the press is often an early warning sign of democratic erosion. Hungary, Turkey. Self-censorship. Even nominally independent journalists start avoiding sensitive topics to stay safe. Here's some notable examples. And when I give you this list, of examples, think about the people that Donald Trump idolizes. Okay? In Russia, crackdowns on independent outlets like Novaya Gazeta, laws criminalizing, discrediting the military or the state. Trump loves Vlad. China, total state control of broadcast media, strict censorship of online content, and foreign platforms. I have a great relationship with President Xi. I really like him, really smart guy. Hungary, under Viktor Orban, who's been invited to the White House and the Oval Office numerous times. Under Viktor Orban, pro-government allies have taken over most private media, turning them into a de facto state organ. And then Turkey, Erdogan. Dozens of journalists jailed on terrorism charges, and independent news sites are blocked. Nothing to see here, though, right? Just independent journalism is one of the strongest guardrails against authoritarianism. When the press is silenced or captured, other institutions such as courts, legislatures, or watchdogs lose their ability to act effectively because the public loses access to reliable information. It's not, and I'm glad that's in there, it's not just the control of the press. It's without the press, you don't get the opportunity to understand what is happening. Without access, you wall off. The Trump administration literally wants to build a wall around themselves so that nothing can get out. So they can just say whatever the fuck they want unchecked. They removed data that confirmed, overwhelmingly so, that the amount of right-wing, the amount of political violence lands squarely on the right. We're going to talk about the YouGov poll that I know that our mouth breathers now want to use as see, it's the left. Overwhelming, 70% or more of political violence over the last 25 years, including spikes since 2015. Okay, let's draw a line. What happened in 2015? Oh yeah, we know. They pulled that information from their website. They pulled it. So we found it in the Wayback Machine. We went through it again yesterday. Overwhelming incidences of political violence. In fact, more political violence committed by the right than Islamic extremists and left combined. Tenfold. And here we are. And by the way, I'm gonna visit the text messages. It's funny because I was talking to the daughter, and she's like, "Dad, have you seen the text messages?" And I'm like, "What do you think about that?" She's like, "I don't know anybody my age that writes like that." So we'll talk about that in a minute. Again, undermine trust. This is how authoritarians capture the public through misinformation, disinformation campaigns, and by controlling media. Discredit independent media as biased, fake news, or foreign agents. Attack journalists personally and sow doubt about their motives. Flood media spaces with conspiracy theories and alternative narratives. In Russia, Vlad has called critical reporters traitors. In the US, Donald Trump frequently labels mainstream media as the enemy of the people. Coincidence? Probably right. Starve and harass. Withdraw government advertising, a major revenue source. Target outlets with selective taxes, audits, or fines. File defamation or national security lawsuits to drain resources. In Hungary, Viktor Orban's government used state ads to reward loyal outlets and bankrupt critical ones. What does Donald Trump do? He sues journalism organizations for billions of dollars, forcing them to settle in many cases, or he has his FCC chairman suspend their licenses. Okay. Co-opt and capture. Allies of the regime by major private media companies. Regime places loyal editors or managers in control, and state media are heavily expanded and privileged. Turkey, pro-government conglomerates took over once independent newspapers and TV channels. Is that where we're going? Think about the people who are now in charge of these large, the right loves to say that legacy media is all liberal. Fuck it is. It's super conservative. Okay. Censor and climatize. Pass laws restricting press freedoms, requiring licenses or registrations, highly scrutinized renewals. Jail or exile journalists on vague charges, terrorism, sedition, espionage, and then block or filter any online content. In Russia, 2022, false information law criminalizes war reporting. In China, total censorship and licensing of all media. Wild. Monopolize the narrative. Establish total state control over TV, radio, and major online platforms. Shut down or block foreign and independent outlets. And they maintain a constant stream of propaganda to shape public reality. In North Korea, all media are state-run and dissent is impossible. All those examples, undermine trust, starve and harass, co-opt and capture, censor and criminalize, monopolize the narrative. All those are what's happening right now under the free press supporting Trump administration. Hang on a second. Let me just check something. Thank you, Heather, for your dollar. Heather started the dollar train. If you guys want to support the channel, best way to do that is we are crowdfunded. There's 1,700 people in here. We could bang out that goal in no time. Then I wouldn't have to talk about it anymore. All these things are what's currently happening. And again, I despise legacy media just because of what they've done, not because of what not because of what their job is, but because they have bent the knee. It's predictive. Early warning signs are often appear well before formal press laws are changed. We're in it now. There's a reversible window. Once the state controls ownership, it becomes very difficult to restore media pluralism. And then public psychology, undermining trust creates public tolerance for later crackdowns. People no longer defend the press like any other democratic institution, which is part of the strategy from the right for decades. We've been talking about this forever. All these things designed to discredit institutions, calling them all fake, calling them all enemies of the state. So now we have to question everything, as we should anyway. But what's the truth anymore, right? That's why you need independent journalists. Humbly speaking, people like me. Aisha, how are you today? Hello? Aisha?
Alaikum.
Hello?
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
I don't know what's going on there. You can request again if you want to, Aisha. Good morning, Amy. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Well, so much. I just wanted to voice. I was born and raised in Venezuela. I was 12 when Chavez got elected. 18 when I moved to the States. I'm 39 now. I just turned 39. And we were the richest countries in South America before he got elected and his authoritarian regime started. We're the poorest now. Freedom of the press stopped existing before I moved here. This, like I keep telling my husband, like this is like Trump ever since the first term. I just kept saying like this reminds me of this. I mean, granted, I was a child, but this is so scary, you guys, because I lived it. I had to leave my country because of it. And now we're thinking like we're going to move to Canada. My husband's from Pennsylvania. Now we're probably going to have to move because I have a 2-year-old mixed child. I'm super afraid for him. This is what's in my mind. So scary. Like moving to the States for a better life, and then this is happening again. Stupid.
I can only imagine. I know that the part of the destruction of your economy is, the United States expansion and destabilizing. So I'm sorry. I hear what you're saying. It's terrible. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
It is horrible. It's scary. Like what just happened with chemo yesterday was, I was putting my son to bed and my husband just texted me the thing. I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's no freaking way that this is happening here now. Because it started like that, little by little. All the shows started getting canceled. And now, like, my parents still live there. I have to talk to them. It's like pretty much in codes because they cannot have no information in their phone or nothing. I cannot go home now because I'm a dual citizen. And they said that if you're a dual citizen and if you go inside the country, you cannot leave. So.
Well, I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah.
Have you joined Discord, Amy? If you haven't, maybe join our Discord. We've got a pretty strong community
I know
there.
you're probably a little bit older than me, but Discord, I still don't understand how it works. I feel like
Here's the thing: if I can figure it out,
I can.
You can figure it out. Yes.
Yeah.
one of my mods will reach out to you, and we'll help you out. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Amy. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye. We're gonna hear a lot of these stories, right? It's just gonna hear a lot of them. Gonna hear a lot of these stories. It's wild. Freedom of speech. How are you today?
I'm well. Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Like most people, I think there's been an exponential ramping of like where we lean in, participate, whether it's just being more active and then trying to gather other people into that circle of I'm rambling. Look, I'm a 40-something-year-old. I wasn't active on any social media until just recently, until last November. Actually, the whole year leading up to it, I wasn't even active politically. I live in a district that's very gerrymandered in Illinois. It's a very southern red district. I even voted for my representative, not understanding what I was voting for because he was the only candidate, honestly, not understanding how things work. But now I do. So here we are. Since last year, I've called my representative. I think I've called him like 3 times a week now. I'm up to 3 or 4 times a week. There's just so much coming down the pipeline that like that's all I was given. My wife is in fear of the instability that I portrayed to her because I have no other outlet other than calling my representative or just stewing in my thoughts because I'm a blue dot in a red sea. We're now at a point now where it's just that. It's my wife, and without sharing too much, she's an educator. She's amongst other people that like at the time I thought shared the same thoughts as we did. Obviously, I was like, well, you know, they're saying that you indoctrinate children. They're saying you're doing. This started way back when I would ask her. I was like, I got people at my work talking about litter boxes in your classroom. Like, is that something that's actually? This is a year and a half ago, and so that for me started this chain of like illogical. Like, what is going on? Like, why? There's propaganda happening, and I wasn't trying to be that person, you know. And I spent most of my time hearing about QAnon and Q drops and all this, and just like bagging that, like just totally just disowning anyone that smelled like that. And then I'm turning into that person now, right? I feel that, and I'm scared for that because I don't know if I can keep calling my rep, knowing that like I'm not being heard, and the illogical is becoming the logical. Where do you go, man? Like, I don't honestly.
What's the alternative?
What is the alternative?
Think of it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, think of it that way. So, because we talk about this in terms of how apathy is where democracy goes to die. Where democracy goes to die, right? So, what's the alternative, right? So, if we give up without a fight, and I'm not saying that you're not fighting. I get it. I'm just trying to. This is just a thought experiment, right? If we all collectively said, I give up, then we get what we get. Like I have said many, many times, we as the United States deserved the Trump administration. We deserved what's happening to us because we ignored fundamental principles required to keep our democracy functioning. Those things would include voting. Those things would include being aware of what's happening in our systems. So if we continue to just be like, I throw my hands up, I give up, that's a choice individuals are going to have to make. But then we're going to accept what's happening. And some people say we've already gone too far. Yeah. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. From, you know, the nihilistic anarchist in me wants to tear the shit down. But I know full fucking well that under the best conditions, marginalized communities already suffer. Under the best conditions, they suffer. So what happens when, you know, I'll survive, I'll assimilate. I'm a white man in America. I don't know how you identify, but I'll be fine.
Yeah. No,
I'll be fine.
I'm with you on this. This is what's tearing me apart is like, I'm amongst that. I'm amongst the privilege. I'm amongst those who, again, I'm brought to tears just talking about it because what is the alternative? Somebody like me, when they reach a point where there is no hope and I have a son. I'm sharing too much information, but I think about, will he be drafted for somebody else's war? Now we're at that point.
Could be.
Yeah. No, and then I say this stuff amongst people that I feel safe, but because of their privilege, because their front porch is not affected right now. And I guarantee you, they think their front porch will never be affected, which blows my mind.
Of course.
And
I agree. And that's
the
part that I'm glad you said that. That's the part that I try to talk about every single day, which is why people on the left, I mean, we all
smart people don't like me.
I mean, that's a statement that's the truest thing that Donald Trump has ever said, that smart people don't like me. It's because smart people see what's happening. Smart people are trying to remind the people that vote for Trump, not that everybody votes for Trump is dumb, but a lot of them are. Let's be real. We're trying to remind them that this affects you too. SNAP benefits, rural hospitals closing, this affects you too. The economy being gutted by capitalists as prices go up and we lose access to food, water, shelter, and healthcare. Those things affect you too. And they refuse to see it. Because freedom, they despise brown and black people so much, and women, and the queer community, and anybody who does not look like them.
So then how does someone in that? So where my feelers picked up was when I started to hear words like demonize, or just just things. This goes back a year and a half, 2 years when Trump was campaigning, and I clued in on that. I'm like, why is he like? We went from we to them, us and them. So I heard that whatever my ideology, because I don't know, I don't even label myself as left or right. There's some things that I can understand from both sides. What I grew up with was understanding that every American had the right to feel and believe and express the way they do. I also understood with my mother serving in the military. Oh, I'm gonna lose my shit here, dude. She always
there, bro. We got you.
She always said the thing that made her proud was, out of all the countries we had in this world, that our elections were violent and free, that the transfer of power was peaceful. And then January 6th happened. And the craziest part, bro, I call my mother and I'm like, can you believe this? And in that separation in time and distance, she was indoctrinated, and she just sleep with Fox News on TV, and like the change that occurred. So I truly believe like what you just speak to is like, that's something we can't come back from. I don't think we can. I think this cancer is rooted in this country so hard that now it's more about survival, and really the people who have power, who are in power, super majorities and all, that's all they see is how do we stay in power using the tools that seem very fascist, the authoritarian tools. So how do you come back from that? What's scary today is that things have happened incrementally, that the people like my wife who, okay, let's back up. We used to get our news from newspapers, and you'd have to have a 12th grade reading level to read the newspaper to comprehend what was being shared.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have that comprehension, you got the news from somebody who did. So there was kind of like a filtering from those smart people who read the news, and it wasn't misinformation or disinformation. It was Papa or your trusted uncle at a diner, like sharing that information because they read the newspaper every day. Well, we don't receive that information like that, and it's not filtered that way. And in fact, we have more times where information is given and then backtracked, and it doesn't matter. It's already out there. It's already out there. So I don't know where you were a beacon of hope as I was doom scrolling. I work from home. I think my problem is that I'm just using this phone as a brick to just like see how bad everything is. I want to do something, but that want to do something was me calling my rep every day, just asking for like your explanation.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't stop doing it. Listen, I want to say two things to you. First of all,
like I'm on a list now,
it is.
Don't you think I'm now like that Trump is saying that like we're like, how can the idea of being anti-fascist be a terrorist idea? I don't know.
I know. I'm gonna get into that in a second. I want to say this to you. It's refreshing to see a man show vulnerability and your willingness to be emotional without being it just anger and lust. It's refreshing. So take that as, take your flowers on that topic, as we like to say in our space. Okay. It's really refreshing to see that, because we all feel that emotion, right? We all feel it. We get it. We all get it. We all struggle with it. You're welcome to join us on our island of empaths. Believe me, I get it. But I would say this: everybody has to make their own decisions for their families, right? I understand, but we are at a point where those of us who live in this country, the 350 million people, we all are here. We're all in the middle of it. We are all witnessing of it. We're all part of it. The question is, what are we going to do individually? Now, you might want to say to yourself, this is just an example. I end my show every single day with do something. And what I mean by that is literally do something. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be anything public. It could literally be using whatever skills you might have to make a difference in your community. Because we need people to understand what's at stake. Some people are ready to go to jail. Some people are ready to get bloody. Whatever that is, whatever that is, that doing something is what's absolutely critical now. So my advice, and I really, really appreciate your vulnerability and your just humility. It's just really refreshing, and we need more men to do what you just did. We really, really, really do. So I am incredibly honored to be part of that with you. But what we need more people willing to do something, whatever it is. And don't think that your voice doesn't matter. Don't think that your feelings about this, don't ever apologize for them, because it's fucking real, dude. It's real. Don't apologize for it. In fact, embrace it.
Can I just ask, in your heart of hearts, when you're talking about doing something, so obviously there's probably a tiered out approach. I'm just personally, for me, in my head, so going back to 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and it was very much like, we've all seen this on TikTok. Oh, we're hyper aware. We're making the connections. 1933, blah, blah, blah. I was a history buff. I saw those connections. I started ringing the bell. And then in that, I, in my head, started milestoning, being like, all right, well, if we approach this thing, then I feel definitely where the wind is going in that direction. Well, each milestone happens. And I'm like looking at people like, are you serious? Like, what's going on? So for me, I gotta be real. Because I have a family, I tell this to my wife, and I know she thinks I'm crazy. Like, it's like they're my anchor right now. They're the reason why I'm still planted in reality here. Whereas if I had, again, I just don't. Where's your tiered out approach? Like, when do you get up out of your seat and stop doing what you're doing right now? Because I think what I'm losing is hope. Just scrolling through the screens and seeing people like you say very impactful things, but this messaging is losing. It is not winning. We are not getting to the people that need to hear it. And I see it on the street. So what do I do now? Like, for instance, I've already got pinched for this. And I'm again, maybe that's what I say to my wife. I'm like, maybe that's what happens is people like me keep getting arrested because I'm getting told that I shouldn't tell. So my son's a baseball player, and amongst his baseball mates, I'll just ask him like, hey, what's Article 4? Like, do you know the Constitution? I'm just randomly asking, like, do you know what protects your freedom of speech? Like, just random stuff, just to see if they know. They don't know. These are 14-year-olds, man. You know, and it scares me.
I know. Let me answer your question. And I'm and you can call me Steve. And it's good to meet you. I'm a pretty humble guy. My mod team knows me, and I've just been thinking about this a lot lately. And I don't like to talk about myself. My team knows me, but I feel with my background in communications and media, and I've served in government, and I'm smart and I'm well read. I feel like this may be my purpose, that I may be here at this particular time to do this every single day, and I'm committed to it. I struggle with the fact that there are not enough oppositional voices to the right-wing echo chamber that just spews misinformation, disinformation, and hate. And it's this small community that we created here, but it's grown because people look to our community to say, can you help us cut through the noise? Can you help us navigate this? Can you break this down for me? Can you show us some inspiration? Oftentimes reporting on the news, it's heavy. I feel it every single day. I got to go touch grass between when I get up, when I stop doing this, and when I do my liberal job, and then when I do my other liberal job, and then when I do my other liberal job. But I feel like this is my thing. Like, this is me doing something with a bunch of other shit that I do. And again, this is not about me. That's just I feel like this is my purpose. And I've always been a purpose-driven person. There's always things that inspire me. And oftentimes it's the same type of things that inspire me. Human suffering just really eats at me. It just always does. And I read stories from, when I hear stories from around the world and I see suffering and I know that I can't fix it and I want to. Yeah. So the only thing that I might be able to do is call attention to it. That's all. So that's me. That's me. That's why I do it. I try to be humble about it. I try to be objective about it. I'll take criticism. I'll try to learn every single day. But that's why I do it. So I hope that people will just be inspired to say, fuck, I can do something. I can do something. And that's what I want for people. But again, I know your kids might be younger. My kids are older. My youngest is about to turn 18. And I'm scared to death for the world that she's going to walk into. But I've spent a lot of time with my kids to say, this is the shit that's happening. If you're in a position in your life to provide kindness and generosity and concern and care and compassion towards others, then do it. And your cup will always be full.
Yeah.
I landed my plane.
That is huge. And honestly, just to kind of nail what you just said, like, here I am. If you really knew who I was and what I was about, I'm talking to you today. Like, it's weird how the universe works, because again, there's just a lot of, on both sides, there's a lot of darkness happening, and people are questioning things. So, like, ultimately, I guess what I'm asking you, someone who's sane and intelligent and rooted in probably some really strong foundations, it's like, what is your Paul Revere moment? Do you have that? Do you speak to that? Like, what is it going to get you at some point to, because again, what's preventing me from writing at dawn is just that, I have to ensure my wife and son eat and live, you know. But the minute that changes, again, the pain at my porch is not my porch. I'm looking at other people's porches right now. But again, when the pain comes to my porch, I know it's too late. I know at that point, because that's how privileged I am. That's how I know how much the pain and suffering that's going on is my fault, because I'm here talking to you sitting in a chair. I work from home in a very privileged situation. So it's eating me up. It's eating me up. So I'm just asking you, Steve, what's your Paul Revere moment? Would you get up at any point and really do something different than this? And I'm just being real.
I mean, it's a great question, and I never thought about it in terms of like my Paul Revere moment. Like, you know, we ride at dawn. I think that my Paul Revere moment, to be honest, happens in this space pretty much every day.
Yeah.
When we speak to people like you, when we have 2,000 people at times just sitting here watching this dude with silver hair talking about stuff and showing my emotions and showing that there's a better way that we can do this and there's passion involved. And I always talk about people like in terms of change. And I've said this before, oftentimes when we are faced with an opportunity to change, you either are desperate to do so or inspired to do so. And you never want to make big changes in your life if you're desperate. You always want change to come from inspiration. And if I can inspire someone to do something, if I can inspire someone to if I can inspire a man like yourself to show their emotion that's not just anger and lust, that may be my Paul Revere moment. I don't know.
I appreciate that. And honestly, I think what you're receiving is, I don't have an outlet. People like me, again, like I said, a blue dot in the sea, a red sea. I'm at a point now. I'm scared. I'm scared because I've been very vocal. I've been protesting at the local rep's office, which is in my son's school town where he goes to school. So I've been on the local newspaper, stuff like that. So I don't know. I think a lot of this talking does help. People like you are helping, and I hope I didn't say anything that was opposite to that. I just think
no, you didn't. You didn't
I'm
at
at
all.
a point now where like I called my rep. I felt some things. I felt some real things, and then here we are talking. I don't know. It's crazy, man. I don't know why I'm losing it right now, but like I really felt some shit, and I'm just scared because, again, if the government can censor, like, there's just every day there's something else. So like today was just a phone call about the FCC and Jimmy Kimmel. Do I care about Jimmy Kimmel? No. Do I watch him? No. Do I care about Americans having the rights that they are guaranteed via the Constitution? Hell yes. Like, and the erosion of an authoritarian regime using a playbook that everyone sees. That's what's crazy, is like, how does a portion of the population go into denial or blind or justify or whatever, mental gymnastics, whatever they call it. I'm just over it. I'm over the talking points. I'm over the parrots. I'm over even both sides, my guy. Like I'm really at this point, you know, I've read some stuff, and I think what tipped me today was just like how, again, talking about the pain on the porch, all of us will feel the pain. We saw it. We were scared of it when the supply chain did what it did. And then we were very scared about the dock workers shutting it down. Yeah. We're like, every one of us is, unless you have a storage, Steve, unless you grew up LDS and had some type of food prep situation, all of us are 3 days away from like severe, like if it was 7 days of no power, I read a book, it was like 7 days till, caveman or 7 days till something. I'm probably misquoting it, but it basically explains that like it just takes 3 days for like civil shutdown, power to go out, the stores to get ran on, and then by day 7 we're looking at marauders. And if you didn't join with a community that was protective in some way, you're losing all your stuff. That's what, and I don't doubt that for a second in this country, because we eat our own. We're eating our own right now. Because we're white or black or whatever color, we just, as long as it's not my pain, it's their pain. And then we can label it as, oh, well, they're illegal or they did it wrong or whatever it was. And now we're saying terrorism is just based under ideology. So anti-fascism. So everything I said to you, I've said in circles. And I realize now that I've been in the wrong circles. And my wife is, there's the venting that here's the psychology. My wife is scared. She's very scared, and rightly so. She's never been a person to care for politics. She just cared for people. She's a special educator. She sees the child, you know. So when this all went down, man, I said to her, I was like, I mean, they were talking about, like, you know, when they were taking down the Department of Education, these people who don't understand the pain coming their way just are privileged in just understanding, like, I still have a job. Like, this won't happen to us. I'm giving too much information now. I'm in a very blue state, so I'm so grateful for my governor. I'm so grateful for that. And I think it's hypocritical that these people who are so full of Trump and so full of in support of him can be in the state. That level of privilege it blows my mind. That they feel that freedom. They feel protected in saying some of the craziest stuff in support of Trump, but live in a blue state and have that blue state protection. It's just, I don't know. I'm at a level where, like, I don't deal with hypocrisy well. And I'm all for people saying messed up stuff because we're Americans. You're free to say whatever, even hateful stuff. Go for it. People died for it. So you get that because someone else died for it. So that's America. That was America. We're not in that country, Steve. And I don't know where the ultimate switch happens where, like, people all go, oh, we aren't, or maybe we are, and people are cool with it. I don't know. How do I help me, Steve? Here's what it is. Help me not look at people. Now I'm at a point now because I feel like I'm being looked at it this way as well. How do I not look at people as an us them? I mean, I've spent this whole time as Americans, but, like, today I've never felt more like an us them situation. Like, I don't want that.
You said, without getting too much detail, you said you have kids?
Yes.
Look at them every single day. Remind yourself what it is that you're fighting for. Yeah. And I always say this to people, never forget that you should never relent on the truth. Never relent on the fact that you're an empath. Never relent on the fact that you prefer growth and progressive policies to defend every American. Those are the things that should matter. Like, you advocate for healthcare, you advocate for water, you advocate for shelter, you advocate for food. Those things are really, really important. I want to ask you this in a personal way. Have you considered, or do you see a therapist?
I have considered it.
I think it might be a good idea. I'm an advocate for men's mental health care. I'm an advocate for health care in general. In mental health care in general, but there's a lot. First of all, I'm humbled that you would be so willing to be as transparent as you were today. So thank you for that. But I think there's a lot of stuff there that you probably need to get off your chest. And I'm not a therapist. I'm happy to listen for hours. People know about me. I'm happy to do that. I'll even give you my number if you're in a bind and you need to unpack shit. But that might be something to consider. The reason I say that is because you are not alone with these feelings. I feel you, brother. Believe me, I get it. Every single day. This to me becomes a therapeutic exercise in a way, because I can get a lot of things out here and I'm in a safe space to be able to do it, and people allow me to be vulnerable and transparent and all that kind of shit. So don't apologize, first of all. Don't ever apologize for feeling that way. In fact, I wish more people did. I wish more people did, especially men. I wish more men felt the way that you did and are willing to share it publicly. So
I think I forgot.
And secondly, and real quick before I forget my mind, in the link tree that's in my bio, there's an organization called Indivisible. What Indivisible does is that there's state by state chapters of people who want to do something. Organizations that are communities that are building, whether it be through No Kings protests or things like that. The cautionary tale is right now, Sam will get that reference. The cautionary tale reference that is right now is that we don't know if our right to peacefully assemble is even going to be something that's going to be suppressed. But we have to try. We have to force the hand of the fascists in charge. We have to. Because if we don't, then they win by default. They may win otherwise, but I'm going down swinging. That's all I can say. I'm going down swinging.
And this is what I needed. You're my Wheaties today, Steve. Honestly, I wasn't going to quit. I think I think I was reaching a point. If I totally forgot that, and this is the boomer in me, like I forgot this is TikTok. I forgot you've got all these people here listening. It was just you and I in this moment. So, yeah, psychology wise, I think when people start to peel back the layers and on every person's a unique fingerprint. I think for me, and I'm just going to share this. I was sexually abused when I was 5 years old by my stepbrother, who was 18 or 19. My parents treated the situation pretty messed up. I survived that. I mean, you can't tell right now, but I survived that. I thrived because of it in a lot of ways. I became, because survivors I know tend to, I was I was bright, and I think a lot of it was to mask the pain. I grew up, I shared some things, and I think I got it out, most of it. I mean, there's some things in there, but what triggers me now is just what's happening in the office, and I think that's what clued me back in. It was it started with QAnon and the whole Pizzagate and all that crap, and it just uncovered some stuff, and I just was like, what are these people about? Like they don't even know. Like people who aren't about it, who don't have that experience or aren't connected with someone who has that experience, just they don't know. So like I think that's what happened was then this new version of me came out of that, and good or bad, and then I clued in on some things, and then I don't want to say hate, but I have some real issues about this, and I don't want to say like, oh, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to do the right things in this, but that's what's motivated me was just that in that. So that's what's up. That's where I've
got you, man.
And so
I got you.
I think that's what the things are coming from. Is like I have so much anger repressed from some things, and then ultimately we are now there are people who are idolizing people in power of that is blowing my mind. So,
well, Freedom, listen, we see you, bro. We see you. Okay, you're part of our. We always joke around here that once you become part of our community, you're like gum on the shoe. You can't get rid of us that easily.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you being part of this, and please come back. And like I said, maybe consider looking into some therapy. If not, if you want to message me in Discord, or if you want to message me through my TikTok app, if you just want to talk, I'll give you my number. We can chat. Okay. But please do not apologize for your passion. Do not apologize for your empathy. Do not apologize for feeling what you're feeling, because it's what we need. We need more people, especially men. We really do. I want to thank you for being here today, bro. We'll be in touch, okay?
I appreciate it, dude.
You got it, man. All right, take care. See you later.
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes, Kayla, how are you?
Hi, it has been an emotional morning this morning, and I love it. I love that people feel
Me
the
too.
same way I do in your space, Steve. So thank you for providing that every day.
My pleasure.
A little bit of a topic change for making a difference.
Real quick, Kayla, real quick. Freedom, if you're still in the chat, you probably got a message from our friend Sam, one of our moderators here. So that's going to be your cue to kind of join our community. So like I said, once you're part of our community, we are gum on your shoe. Just FYI, in a good way. Sorry, Kayla, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You won't regret it. I did want to remind everyone, for those who've been listening, Steve was kind enough to put the mobilize.us link that we have going on for Missouri. It is a citizens referendum. They have passed a severely gerrymandered map here in Missouri that has carved out Kansas City. We're starting to look a lot like Oklahoma, and it's scaring us. So we now have this citizens referendum that a lot of us consigned. We have a little bit less than 90 days now. I think it's like, I can't even keep the time in my head. I want to say 80 something. But we have a lot of days, but we want to keep reminding everybody that we are trying to collect as many signatures as we can. If you don't know what a citizens referendum is, it is a process of direct democracy that allows citizens to block or repeal a law that has been passed by our legislature. So it is very important that we get as many signatures as we can. That way we can try to present a new ballot or a new law. So If everyone can please just go check Steve's Linktree and or mine. I just made one and added it to mine. So if anyone will go click those and please add your signature. You do not have to be from Missouri. Anyone all over the world can sign it. So as many as we can grab. Yeah.
That's new. Oh, so that's good to know. I was just going to ask
okay,
that question.
Maybe world was a little bit of a stretch, but Sam did Sam did test it out, and she said that she had someone from a different state try to sign it, and it worked. So
okay,
anyone can sign.
Do you know how many signatures are required?
No, I do not know how many are required.
So we'll just say lots.
Yeah, I haven't seen any specific number.
There's 1,600 people in here, friends.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about doing something that is the simplest something that any of you can do. It's mobilized. You'll see the link. It's in the link tree that's in my bio. Go there, click on it, sign the petition, say I did something, please.
Yes, there is 1974 signatures on there right now. If we can just get that to like 2,500, I know that may be like a big stretch, but like I'm shooting for big. I just want to see as many signatures as possible. So I appreciate you, Steve, for amplifying this for us.
Anytime, Kayla.
Thank you.
Anytime. Please come back. Please get out there. I know capitalism is pending, so have a good day. Be safe out there, okay?
Yes, you do. Thank you.
You got it. Bye. Yeah, so it's mobilized. You'll see the link. It's in the link tree in my bio. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Somebody joked the other day that our link tree has become the link forest, and it's really, really true because there's a lot of really good stuff that we talk about here. And, indivisible.org, a connection to groups like the one started by our friends Downriver United 734 in Michigan, all kinds of activism groups, all kinds of activism organizations. Now, the elephant in the room is that there may be identifications of these groups being considered threats. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I love my, I'm gonna be careful here. I love my mod team so much. They worry about me a lot. They do. They're always checking in, making sure that my social spaces and my online presence is safe and secure. And it is. I mean, I had identity theft years ago, and I learned a lot from that about how you protect your online privacy and your online spaces. So I'm here. If you go to the link in the link tree in my bio, you look for Mobilize. It's a petition to basically push back against the gerrymandered bullshit, fascist takeover of Missouri. You can sign it, sign away. Let's see if we can get as many signatures as possible. So that's our mission today. Look at all the people that said they signed it. That's fantastic. I love that. Signed from West Virginia. That's fantastic. So these are all little things, right? These are all little things that we can all do every single day. And again, I just think that what Freedom said is one thing. What he said is one thing. What it means is something else. You know, like we discuss in this spaces many times, what's been holding us back as a society have been men, and by and large white men, right? And for society, and I won't get into ancillary topics here, but society tells men the only emotions you can show publicly are anger and lust, right? And someone who just happened on us, like he said, I was just scrolling through and I saw you and I like what you're talking about. That's kind of what we hope for. It's kind of why we do this every single day, right? It's kind of why we do this. This is part of what we do. And again, I don't like talking about myself, but I feel like this is my purpose. I'll put it that way. If that's what it is, if that's what it takes to have a conversation like that we just had, that 1,700 people got to experience, then that's a win. And we can talk about other people and how we can get motivation to sign a petition, the simplest thing, right? The simplest little thing, just signing a petition. Those are big deals. Those are big things that we can do. And that's kind of what we do. So thank you all. I appreciate it. There's a lot going on here. Let me bring up Brooke real quick. I need some water. Hi.
Good morning.
How you doing?
You need a break?
I'm all right. Thank you for asking.
No, I'm good. I'm doing all right today. A little sore, but hanging in there.
Yeah, no more tripping over your own feet, like we always say, right?
Right. All right. Good morning, everyone. We all need a deep breath and a group hug this morning after that conversation, but those are things that need to be said, and our friend Freedom of Speech seemed to really need to have that conversation today, so I'm glad we were all there for him. We're so happy you decided to join Facts for the Live this morning. We're here every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. Please keep liking and sharing the live. Consider subscribing at factsstillmatter.site. Also, visit factsstillmatter.site and check out the awesome merch options we have there, like the Do Something t-shirt or the I Am Fucking Zen t-shirt. There's also coffee mugs, tote bags, and other goodies that you can find there. Heather started the dollar challenge this morning. So send $1 to Facts Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal if you appreciate all the information and discussion we've been having on the show. Facts works tirelessly day and night to bring you facts over feelings because facts still matter, and they always will. We have an awesome Discord community if you want to join us there for conversations outside of TikTok. We talk about current events, share selfies and pet photos, and just have a lot of fun. The link is in Facts bio. If the link doesn't work for you, message a moderator and we will get it for you. Once you're in there, open a ticket and answer the questions to get verified. I see that there are several new people who have already joined Discord this morning, so that's awesome. We welcome you all there. That's all I have for today. So everyone have a great Thursday, and we thank you for being here, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, my dear friend. I appreciate you very much. You ready for your slide?
I am. Ready? Whee!
I want to thank Charles for your $5 donation on the blue one. Joseph, thank you for your 50 saying. Joseph says, keep fighting the fight. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate you. Anita, thank you for your contribution. William, also thank you for yours. Really, really appreciate all of you. Starting the $2 train, William says, appreciate you. Thank you all very, very much. Let me adjust this. I can do math in my head. Okay, a few more folks in the chat. A lot of people have requested. Let's see. Yes. Okay. The signature. Okay. Thank you, Sam. The signature is to get this ballot measure. They need petitions to get enough signatures to become a referendum. So I guess the way that Missouri politics works, it requires a certain number of signatures. Now, as we've identified, right? We've got people from across the country that can sign this petition. So what we're looking for is as many signatures as possible to turn this into a referendum. So the voice of the people, right? This is a we the people kind of moment. Thank you for signing from Tennessee. Did I cover that right, Sam? I'll get a shin kick if I didn't. It's okay. You can't sign from across the country. Okay, there's some confusion. So Sam and Kayla, if you guys want to clear that up, some people are saying that they can't sign it because they're outside of the state. Some people are saying they can. So if you guys can just confirm that for me, and I will spread the news. Somebody signed from Alabama. Somebody signed from here and there. Okay, sign it from New Hampshire. Thank you for being a blue dot. Appreciate you. Okay. So much to cover today, but we're having good conversation. So we'll just do our thing here. Hey, Chet, how are you today?
Doing okay. How are you?
Chet. Fine, thank you. What's on your mind today?
Yes. I don't know. I made a decision a couple months ago. I'm from the state of Washington, and I moved my family to Portugal. My wife is Portuguese. She's a dual citizen of the States now, and she had gotten pulled over like 3 times when we got back from vacation back in April, and there was no reason for her to stop. And Washington is a blue state, but most of the counties are very red. We lived on the border. She started traveling with her passport, and I'm scared. And I just felt like listening to you guys just today, I could just talk about how I was feeling as being somebody that's privileged. I'm a white male. I'm in my 40s. I left a very, very, very good job. And now I'm looking for work and my savings are running out. And I desperately wish that my children who are both daughters, were in America where they want to be, but they just started school in Portugal. They don't speak the language, and I'm scared. And I kind of wonder every day whether or not I made the right decision. And I was listening to that gentleman Steve talk, and I just felt like this was a place maybe I could get this out, because I've been applying for jobs for the last 6 hours, and I'm terrified. My kids miss home, but I mean, America is turning into the Handmaid's Tale, man. I don't know what else to do. I've been obsessed with politics my entire life, and watching what was going on in America, it terrified me. My wife's a brown woman. You know, what happens if they just grab her off the street and she doesn't have a passport? I didn't know what to do, and I just refreshed my algorithm, and you were the first thing that popped up, and I thought maybe that was a sign that this was a community that maybe I could get some support from, just because I'm scared. I'm scared.
Well, first chat, welcome. You can call me Steve, Fax, whatever you prefer. I don't, everybody's got to make their own individual decisions for themselves, right? Maybe it is a sign. I'm glad you're here though. Don't regret any decision you made. You made the decision at the moment that you thought was the best for your family. I can hear it in your voice that you are struggling with that decision, but you made a decision that you felt at the time was best for your family. Don't regret it. Don't regret it. There's no reason to, right? There's no reason to. We're all facing the reality of what we see. Now, did you say that your kids, they're school age, like elementary school age? I don't want to get too personal, but is that how old they are?
Yeah, they're within the ranges of 8 to 10 in that area. Both daughters, they're not bilingual. My wife didn't want them to have an accent because she has one, and I regret that we didn't push the Portuguese language on them. I have one daughter she's a go-getter. She's a lot like I was when I was a kid, and she's trying her best. And another one that is the complete opposite, where she's really struggling. And I remember a couple, like maybe 2 weeks ago, and my wife kind of just vented to me like, this was your idea, because one of our daughters was missing home and crying. And I was just like, I didn't know what else to do. Like, we can't help how we're born. I'm born, I'm gray haired now, but I'm a tall white male with blue eyes. There's zero chance that I'm ever going to get stopped by ICE or have my citizenship questioned. But the fact that in a 3-week span in April, my wife, who never gets pulled over 3 times in a row for zero reason, I just felt like they were profiling. And watching her being just somebody that loves history, like, wow, you're traveling with your passport and you're a citizen of this country. What kind of weird dystopian reality did I just wake up in? And I thought that the best thing that I could do, since we had already applied for citizenship for my kids, to have dual citizenship, it had just come in the mail that they were approved. I was like, let's just do it. Not even knowing what I'm going to do for work, which I'm still looking for a job. I'm looking every day and I'm terrified. I don't speak the language. I'm just doing my best every day. And, I have my wife who's lived in America for 12 years, now dealing with Portugal again. And every time I look at the news, there's just something else that the president has done that just pains me. Not just for myself, but like, I understand what happened to that man at the college. I don't even want to say it because I just rather not.
Yeah.
But like, I've watched videos of young girls and boys being torn away from their friggin' parents. And I was terrified that what happens if I'm at work and they just take my wife and she's in transit, and now I have to figure out where they put her or what country they put her in, or the conditions. Like people on X talking about, I'm sorry to say that, but like people like joking about alligator Alcatraz and stuff, like that's a good thing.
I know.
Like, I guess the thing that really pained me when I was listening to the last gentleman talk was I didn't think the country was this friggin' racist and hateful. I thought that was a small minority group, and I'm so hurt inside because that's not how I thought we were as a country. If that makes sense. I know I'm venting, and it's probably
Oh
I've
no,
been
no,
bottling
it
this up
makes
for months now.
it makes perfect sense. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So let me just see if I understand. So if I heard you correctly, your daughters are in Portugal now. Is that right?
We're all in Portugal, all of us.
You're all there.
We
Okay,
came here on vacation
gotcha.
in
Okay.
April, and we decided on a whim to register our marriage and register our kids so they could have dual citizenship. Because I was like, hey, when they're college age or whatever, I wanted them just to have options in their life. And it turned into, we got back, my wife starts going back to work, and she starts getting pulled over, and we're seeing scary stuff on TV. And we live in a border town in Washington with a lot of like Trump signs, and even people my friends aren't listening to me. Like my best friend has a Filipino wife, and he's just like not seeing it. And it's just like, I was like, I can't. And I left a very, very, very good job. And now I'm living off savings, looking for work, and I'm just terrified.
I get that. But you're like, again, I want to reiterate, you made the decision at the time that you and your wife felt was best for your kids, because that's what responsible parents do. And you can't regret it. Like, we make mistakes, we learn. I mean, we learn all the time, especially people who care about our job and responsibility as being a parent. We make mistakes, we fuck shit up all the time. That's part of being human. What we do is we make a decision based on the information we have at the moment. And I try not to live my life with regret. Maybe I should have taken that left turn instead of said that right, but I generally don't live with regret. So don't feel like you're regretting your decision. I think you made the right one. Now, somebody just said, this is where my mods and I are usually brain sharing. Someone said, I know Portugal is a spot where a lot of expats are. It's become a popular country for a lot of Americans to move to. So that might be a community that you might want to consider finding out. I don't know how you would find that. Maybe just do a search for, Americans in Portugal and see if there's communities. That might be something to consider as well. Now, I'm sure just from talking to you, you're obviously smart. You're an empathetic human. You obviously got your heart in the right place. It sounds like you've been busting your ass your entire life. I'm sure you'll find work. I'm sure you will find work. I wouldn't worry about that as much. I know it feels overwhelming right now. Again, this is just my own advice. Maybe separate yourself from American politics for a little while, since you're not there. Since you're not here, maybe just try to immerse yourself into the culture that is Portugal. Beautiful country, incredibly beautiful. Maybe that should be your break. Maybe to say, I've got my daughters here, my children here who are safe. They're going to get a good education. They're going to experience more cultures. I'll find a job, and you will. But maybe just now is the time to literally just unplug.
You're probably right about that. I feel incredibly guilty because I wish that there was something that I don't know what I could.
I'm losing your volume, brother. Maybe you got a little bit closer to your mic.
Oh, is that better?
Not quite, but I'm old.
What I was saying is that I was hoping that there was something like I can do from here, but I don't even know what to do. I just feel I love my country and I hate what happened to it. And I hate.
So I've seen somebody in the chat. Their name is HRH. In HRH Indomitable. You're in the chat. If you could say hi. So Chet, what's going to end up happening right now is this is how our community kind of works. Okay. So like I said to Freedom, now that you're part of our community, we are gum on your shoe as well. So Chet, this person HRH says that they live there. Okay. They live in Portugal and they want to try to help you. Okay. So they're going to probably follow you. There you go. You're getting messaged right now, okay, by that person who said that they live there, and they're willing to try to help.
Oh my gosh. I really feel like I'm going to cry.
Go ahead. That's what we do here.
Protect my family. I just wanted to protect my family.
I know. I know.
And I just don't. I lost my father, and my stepfather won't talk to me because he's mad I left, because my mom's mad I left. Like, to so many people who were against this, and I was just like, I have to keep my wife and my kids safe, and that's what I was trying to do. And
we got you, man. We got you. We got you. So, like I said, this is kind of what we do here. This is kind of like our purpose. This is what we do. We put people in just random strangers meeting in some little box. And you are brave enough and courageous enough and vulnerable enough and willing to be, within your own feelings. And you come up here and you talk about it. Look what happens. We never know where it's going to go. You never know. But this is what community does. This is what community does.
I really appreciate everybody. I'm seeing these messages on my phone now, and I'm very, very touched. I really am.
I'm glad. Well, then, like I said, can I ask a favor? Maybe let the dust settle a little bit. Be in your emotions. Be in your feelings. Don't push them away. You made the right decision. You chose the path that you and your wife thought were best for your kids because that's your primary focus. And I'm glad to hear you did that. Now let our community see if we can help. Okay.
Thank you. I'm getting so many messages and it's going so quickly. Anybody that wants to talk to me, they can definitely send me a DM or anything like that. I really appreciate it. I think I was just super overwhelmed today because I've been applying for jobs and nothing's coming through, and my wife keeps asking every day, did you find anything yet? And it's just I've never been in a position where I wasn't able to provide, and I got some savings.
I get it.
And I'm in a country where I don't even speak the language. I just got I can actually work here now, which is crazy. I'm trying to go through this paperwork with immigration, but
somebody just made up a really good idea. Maybe you can figure out a way to help other Americans who are experiencing what you're experiencing. Expats helping expats, all kinds of shit. And I got one of the things that I do for work is I help small businesses kind of get started. If you feel like you're in a position, that's something you want to do, let me know. I'd love to help.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. I'm very, very touched. I really am.
We got you, chat. You're welcome to the community. We appreciate you. And everybody in our community, the 1,700 people that were in here, thank you so much for doing what you guys do every fucking day. I love you all. Chat, thank you for being here. We'll be in touch, okay?
You're incredible. Thank you. Absolutely.
You got it. Thank you. Man, oh man. Just need a minute. I would like to say that we've had two men come into our space today who were nervous, who didn't feel like they had anywhere to go, who felt that they were failing their families, had this script in their head of the misogyny. You could hear it in there. I'm not the misogyny, the patriarchy. It was in there. I've got these responsibilities. I've got these things that I got to do for my family. At the same time, at the same exact moment, realizing that they're doing whatever they can to try to help their families. Whatever they can. Huge sacrifices. And being willing to be that vulnerable in front of a couple thousand strangers, to be that emotional, to be that transparent about their feelings. That is just, if nothing positive ever happened again in this space, that shit right there has filled my fucking tank. Because that's what we want. Chet and freedom of speech. Chet and freedom of speech. You are gum. We are gum on your shoe. And for those of you in the chat who stepped up, and I know that from what Chet was saying that he got tons of messages, because that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. And I can't even. That's what we do. Jess, I'm good. This is why we're here. Thank you all.
Oh, I was hoping. Hello, Facts. I'm in my 30s. I'm in Europe, and I'm friendly.
We've talked before.
Yeah. It's just that with current situation, I want to keep your chat as safe as possible. Your life as safe.
I appreciate that.
I was hoping to provide some hope to chat. It's gonna be hard for the first few times for your kiddos, but your kiddos will adapt because as you can hear from me, I am a Portuguese kiddo. Most of us knows how to speak English fairly well. So the kiddos start learning in third grade, start learning English, and most of them will be fluent in English when they are 12, 13. So the kids will be okay. Second, Portugal is a lot about community. So to access resources and work, it's a good idea to go to the library or go to the local council because he will get a lot of help with translating paperwork and things like that. We are used to do this. Librarians will say, okay, what you need to fill, I'll give you a hand. And besides this, just look like, for example, Mikey P. Ivy is one of the Americans that came here to Portugal in the beginning of the year. There's plenty of expats coming to Portugal, so community is a big thing. And we tend to embrace everybody who wants to join the big Portuguese community as a part of the family. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask where the resources are. Portugal has a lot of stuff, has a lot of good stuff.
And in your experience over there, thank you for sharing that. Do you know if there are expat communities that have formed for people like, are there? I would imagine.
Yes.
Again,
in several places. What he needs to look for is roughly the area where he is, and look for U.S. expats in that area. So, for example, U.S. expats Lisboa, U.S. expats Porto, like roughly that area. And he will find like meetup communities, he will find Facebook groups, he will find WhatsApp groups. There's plenty of communities that gather around.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
And there's also a benefit that the kiddos will eventually learn to love. It's scary now at this moment, but now that they have a second nationality, the Schengen space is open to them. So they will be able to go to a bunch of countries and they will be able to know a bunch of cultures and a bunch of stuff. And this fear and this thing is scary. I understand. I am going through a move right now. I'm moving to Germany to do a PhD. I also have some of those fears, but that's the good thing about most of the European countries. There's community in here. People defend each other.
Well, thank you for that. And as a reminder that people are going to make their own decisions for whatever reason, and I can't tell somebody what decision to make. I would just say that if your heart's in the right place and you know what's important to you, then don't regret your choice. Don't regret it. Don't regret it. But
I would say one thing. It's if on most countries in Europe, they will allow you to have a second nationality if you have up to grandparents of that nationality. So, for example, here it's easy to get a second nationality if you have Portuguese grandparents or Portuguese parents. And most countries in Europe function this way. Even if you're not thinking on moving, I would say apply for the second nationality if you can, because it's an easy escape if needed.
I think that's really good advice. Thank you for your support of chat
And
in this conversation, friend. I really appreciate that.
And for any emergency situation, the easiest visas to get are language learning visas, which will allow you to stay in most countries for 6 to 9 months while you are applying for other visas and learning the language.
Thank you, friend. I appreciate you. Really do so. Thank you for your words of encouragement and the fact that there are options for many people. Just people may not know.
And guys, you know I'm a scientist. If I know that there's a lot of misinformation wandering around the United States, so if anybody needs unbiased medical information and medical knowledge and biology knowledge and science knowledge, go to my profile, leave a comment in one of my videos, and I will do videos answering everything that I can.
I appreciate you for being here today.
Personalized medical advice to anybody, but I can explain some things that might be confusing.
I appreciate you being here today, friend. Thank you very much for your kindness. I appreciate you very much. Have a good day. Be safe out there.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to bring up, I think I needed just a quick little break. I need a breath of fresh air. I'm going to bring up Anachronista. She'll talk to you guys about just a couple of things that we can find, more information about Discord. I'll be right back. Thank you for jumping in. I appreciate you. Be right back.
Hello, everybody. I thought I would do something a little bit different today and some research into stories of resistance. And one that short one is about the Dagenham strike, women's strike in 1968. And it's multiple authors, and it's fantastic. And this was written by Dr. Jonathan Moss at the University of Sussex. On 7th of June 1968, the 187 female sewing machines at Ford's River plant in Dagenham, Essex, walked out of their factory and into the pages of history as they went on strike against sexual discrimination in their job grading structure in 1967 that separated the workforce into 5 standard grades, ranging from the least skilled grade A, which included non-production workers, to grade E, which comprised the most skilled craft jobs. The sewing machinists who produced car seat covers were placed in the second lowest semi-skilled B grade. They believed they were entitled to the higher C grade because of their levels of experience and training required to perform their work. They argued that the company undertaking the job evaluation scheme failed to recognise the skilled nature of their work because it was performed by women, and they voted to strike until Ford regraded them. The strike lasted 3 weeks and brought Ford's entire British production line to a standstill. The women gained official support from the National Union of Vehicle Builders and Amalgamated Union of Engineering and Foundry Workers. They were joined by the 185 women at Ford's Halewood plant in Merseyside 2 weeks later. I'm just reading a nice little story of resistance, Steve.
Well, I appreciate that. We have a lot of folks that have requested today. I appreciate you getting me a chance to get a break and to kind of just get some fresh air. But thank you for all you do and your support and your kindness for our community, friend. Appreciate you very much. I love you.
And we'll resume that story tomorrow, children.
You ready for your slide?
Oh, yes. Push me hard. Whoa.
Hey, now.
Whoa.
Okay. Just real quick, let me just thank a few more people for your kindness, everybody. Savage, thank you so much. Lisa, thank you. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for everything you do, Steve. I love this community. I love this community too. I really do. Kate says, so thankful for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. Paige says, part of the $1 challenge. I appreciate that very, very much. Nicole says, thank you for speaking up. I appreciate that. You guys are incredibly kind. I appreciate you very much. Okay. Fresh air will do you good. Everybody go touch some grass today. I really appreciate that. Do yourself a solid and touch some grass. Does not look your You may not be able to, you might have timed out of the live, Bree. If you want to request again, I can bring you right back up. Happy to. Good morning.
Good morning.
Matt, how
Hang
are
on.
you?
I'm good. I was cleaning up my plants. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Hi.
It's on your,
I'm
it's on your
outside.
mind. Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you.
You too.
Those two men really cracked an egg for me because this is the bubble I am in. Because I have MS. I work from home. I live in a blue state, Pennsylvania, so I do feel relatively safe. I'm a white woman. I don't have an accent. But like you, Steve, I am so empathetic. I'm a fucking teacher. My heart bleeds every single day. And I care about immigrants. I care about black people. I care about children. And I can't seem to get the people in my immediate circle, primarily my partner, to get on board. You know, since I started on this app 5 years ago, you know, it was like, oh, you heard that on TikTok. Oh, like they have no idea the information, the conversations we have on this app. And I'm starting to get a little pissed off with that. Oh, you heard it on TikTok. When, you know, I'm telling them things that I hear on this app from you and from other creators that aren't even on the news anymore. The men in Mississippi, that wasn't even a blip, right? Because it's all being regulated, it's all being controlled. And I'm scared. I've been scared for months. And it's really hard sometimes in my world because when I teach, I only worry about my kids and I teach and I'm kind of in that bubble. And then when I stop teaching, like now, reality hits me again. And then when my partner comes home, he doesn't validate my feelings. He just says, well, you're fear mongering or it's not going to happen. It's fucking happening. It has happened. Like it's happening right before our eyes. So I'm struggling, Steve, with navigating, and I do have a therapist. I talk to him every other week. I'm going to try to see him once a week now because he's the one that holds me together. He validates the fear. He validates the potential threats. He validates everything. And that's what we need. And you guys out there in Steve Land, if you don't have a person, you don't have people that validate your feelings and says, I am with you and I understand why you're scared. Look, they don't have to be scared, but they have to understand why you're scared. And I don't have that right now. And that's my own doing, right? But now I'm sitting here thinking, I'm a French teacher. I could go to France. I could go to Quebec.
Sure.
I don't really
well,
have
you and I
the
both know that they don't speak French in Quebec. You and I both know that. I'm just kidding. They're my neighbors to the north. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean.
They pretend they wouldn't like my French, but I would assimilate the best I could, right? I'm just it's this is awful to say, Steve, but it's so heartwarming to hear other people, especially men, say, I'm afraid. I think I don't want lives where people are bitching about CK and what happened here and what. I don't care. It's over. Why are we still talking about shit that doesn't make any difference to what is happening right now in reality? So for you to bring up those two guys who I followed, by the way, I think everybody should try to find your like-minded community. And if your circle is toxic, you have to try to separate from that toxicity the best that you can. I want everybody to be safe because I'm with you, Steve. I care about everybody else before I care about me. And that's what we're missing. So I love you. I love this community. You know, that's all I have to say. I'm hurting just like everybody else, and I am fucking I am petrified. I'm terrified of this. So, but keep doing
I
what
got
you're
you,
doing,
friend.
please. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
I appreciate
Thank
you.
you guys.
I love you too,
Thank
friend.
you.
Thank you for
Have a
being here.
great
I
day.
appreciate you. You too. Yes. 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 I have so much that I wanted to cover today, but we're going to do this because there's a lot of people that have got a lot of stuff on their mind, and I want to make sure people have a chance to talk about it. I appreciate you guys, all the kind words you've said, but we collectively are part of this community. This is our community. This is not mine. This is ours. So thank you for that. Haley, you might have timed out, friend. I'm sorry I didn't get to you sooner. Okay.
Hello,
Hi,
good
Cosmic.
morning.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Same.
Thank you for
Same.
this community. Community is what keeping me sane, and I just love hearing your knowledge and learning every day. And I appreciate everything you do for us. I really do.
Thank you for saying that.
I'm sorry. I wanna guys. So for me, I have the option. I have a dual citizenship in the Dominican Republic. I can also go to Spain, and I think for me right now, I've made the decision that I want to leave, but I can because my father's son doesn't want to. So I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm stuck here. There's no really option for me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. I hear those stories from so many people. You know, I constantly work to try to unpack my own privilege. I mean, I could go anywhere. I mean,
Yes.
I'm smart. I've got skills. Don't have a lot of money anymore, but that's life. But I could go anywhere, and I
And
know a lot of
I'm not
people.
married. Sorry, I sort of come say that divorce. I've never married. I'm like a single mother, but yeah, I've like exactly. I just like
Yeah, I mean,
afraid.
I get it. I get it. I mean, what part of the country, without getting too specific, what part of the country?
Unfortunately, I live in Florida and I'm
Okay.
immune compromised, and now they passed the vaccine thing, and I'm not only afraid with the political situation, but I'm afraid for my health and my son. He's in elementary school, and it's just very tough. I don't want to cry, but every day I just wake up in fear, and yeah.
It's okay. This has been a big cry fest this morning. Nothing wrong with that, Cosmic. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
I like we talk about every time. I don't want to. I want to be very very careful how I. Yeah, I just what I would do. I would just find community wherever you can. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
That's what I would try to do. I would just try to find community wherever you can. I mean, there's little things that I think we've all just kind of taken for granted, in our system. At the end of the day, if you think about it, for the rights and liberties that we claim to have, the expectation is that you vote and you pay your taxes, and then everything else you kind of get, and people have forgotten that, right? So I see this as a big inflection point in our country. People have been saying it for a long time. I think we have to stop talking about it in terms of the rise of authoritarianism. It's here. The question is how do we respond? That's the question. And I think from what I've seen, just being able to be a part of this amazing live this morning, the commitment to community that people still have, that's what's going to make the difference. Because the expectation is from authoritarians is they don't expect the people to unite. They don't expect in fact they intentionally want the communities to divide.
And to be in fear. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's my hope that people will be like, fuck, we've got an opportunity here. I was part of something, and I saw on this old dude's live this morning about how community can really come together, perfect strangers, understanding that we're all in this collective fight together. If we want to fix things, and we want to, continue to make society to move society forward, then we got to fight. And all of us have different ways to fight. You may not be able to be on the front lines because of your health condition, so then we'll fight for you. But there's something that you may be able to do by just sharing your own story about how it inspires others, and that it may inspire others. It's stuff like that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I just wanted to share my story. So if anyone is in my situation, that can't leave. They know that they're not alone. And yeah, I'm just going to build my community and try my best. And thank you
We
for
got you,
all you
friend.
do. Have a
You got it.
beautiful
Thank you for
day.
being here. You do the
Thank
same.
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
I love this community. This is our community, you guys. This is ours. This is not mine. This is ours. And I love it so much. Fills my tank every day. I love it. Hey, PR, I saw your note.
Hi,
How are you
Steve.
today?
Good morning. One, I want to say thank you. Like, I try and like listen to you almost every morning. I'm going to be very careful about what I say on here because I recently had a situation regarding a TikTok that I posted, but I will give a little bit of history. So, regarding my note, I actually am a descendant of the dictator in Dominican Republic, Trujillo.
Okay.
If you know any history, regarding that and how that went down, which scared me even more what's happening here because I don't side with that side of things.
Sure.
But back in February, I went to visit family members that were, even closer to the lineage. I'm a little further down and didn't grow up with that kind of knowledge about what happened. And I had posted something about it back in like June, July. It ended up like going viral and to the point where I had to take it down within 24 hours. It got back to the family and currently have legal orders not to. I can talk about it, but they got me on something else because of the video that was in there.
Okay. Okay.
And how they supported that regime and how they're connected to this administration. And it terrified me. It terrified me. I got a cease and desist. So when they're talking about free speech being taken away, it's from us too. So I don't know if you could hear it. Like my voice is literally shaking talking about it.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I got you. We see you. We got you.
But even I'm glad like the young lady that came before, I know like I'm part of that history and it's scary even going back there sometimes and they support this and it's like I don't understand, I don't get it. But unfortunately that may be the only option that me and a lot of other people have to get out of here. In talking to my partner last night, he's also Dominican. He is looking to get his PhD. And finally, after months and months of talking, he opened up the possibility of moving out of the country to complete everything. Yeah, so it's been a rough couple of years dealing with this and trying to fight against this and speak out as much as I can. I'm also, if you notice my name, the PR pinup, I'm a publicist. So dealing with the press, dealing with journalists all the time, it's rough. It's rough out there.
We have some, I'm not sure how long you've been watching me, but I've got some of that in my background. So I feel you. I feel you, especially now. And I'm just curious your opinion, just to change topics a little bit. When you see, I don't know, your critique of legacy media in America, but when I see things like what happened with Jimmy Kimmel and when we see news agencies just bending a knee, how does that make you feel? When they kind of giving in to authoritarianism? Yeah, right? It's just crazy,
terrible.
right?
It's sad. And I see that there are people that want to look for the truth, but I think a lot of them are a little scared to post or write exactly their opinions. Even sometimes the facts, they may skew some of it just to save their positions. And that's why like I look for a lot of independent media sources, not connected to the larger ones to get a fact base. I'm subscribed to a lot of Substacks.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ground News, Straight Arrow News. I'm not endorsed by either one of them. I just like the reporting because it's objective journalism, which is what we try to do here every single day.
Of course.
I appreciate your background and I appreciate what you're sharing with us. I think the cautionary tale again is that these things have happened before in history. The reason we talk about things to make historical references, again, history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. And what we're seeing is what we're seeing. And we've been saying it for a very long time. I've been saying it for a very long time. Kamala Harris called it out. Even people on the conservative side of the aisle called it out as well. And now it's here. The question is, what do we do?
The people that don't see the connection at this point, it's a little terrifying. Either they're doing it willingly or they really don't see it. I was lucky enough, then this last thing, and then I'll let you move on to the next person. 2 nights ago, I had a meeting with a business contact who hasn't posted anything necessarily one side to the other. He was more on the apathetic side. And even though it was supposed to be a business connect, we actually started talking about religion and politics and things like that. And I wanted to leave the door open for him to have those sorts of conversations and express to him that in his position, being, a straight white male, he didn't have to. It is actually a privilege for him not to think about things like this.
Exactly.
And how it is affecting other people and why he should look into them. And I left the door open that, hey, if you have a question, I'm not going to judge you. I will give you facts and maybe my opinion, but I will give you facts on what's going on and how to help you kind of understand other people's point of view in this. And it was a really nice conversation. He thanked me this morning for that. So hopefully he takes advantage of it. And that's all I can do.
That's all any of us can do. But that's an awakening, right? I mean, and I like the way that you said it. As part of the privilege that I have is I don't have to think about those things that impact marginalized groups every single day. Thank you for sharing that.
But you do. So we appreciate you for it too.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very much, friend. I really appreciate you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. You too. Bye. I love that idea, Sarah, about community building Thursdays. We might need to add that to our list, our programming list. I'm going to bring up Drew. Everybody keep tapping and sharing, please. I've got some more people to thank, and I'll do that in just a moment. Whew. Hey, Drew. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Steve, man. This has been a powerful show today.
It has, indeed. Indeed.
I really, Freedom's story kind of touched my soul because I work from home, so I'm isolated a lot from other adults, at least. I'm a Jewish blue dot living in South Carolina, in rural South Carolina. So I know all about feeling alone about that. Last couple of weeks I've been dealing with my wife left me and my son here at the house with all the animals. So trying to keep up with everything and doing that on my own. So, I think we need days like this where we can hear from other people that this is happening and, that we're all dealing with different things and we just need to look out for each other. This community has been great help to me because I don't have anything else right now. So just being able to log on and listen every day and jump in and talk to you and just get the support and the feedback, whether it's positive or negative from the community, has been very helpful. So I wanted to thank you for doing what you're doing, and thank this community. Then you got Chet's story, which is there's got to be thousands of those stories right now, and people wonder why we do what we do, why we're pushing back so much on what's going on with ICE and all the immigration stuff, because these are people and they have lives, and this is what's happening. People like Chet are getting caught up in this mess, and okay, great, let's get rid of criminals and people who do bad things, but we got to make sure that folks like Chet aren't getting caught up in this, and that's what our whole deal is about. So the reason I had got on, though, in the first place, and I've been on for a while, I've been on kind of waiting for a while, but and I won't talk about it too much, but just so you could follow up on it tomorrow. But going back to the whole Jimmy Kimmel deal, are you familiar with Nexstar? What's going on with Nexstar?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
part of the story.
Just for the. Yeah, I don't know if you had mentioned it, but for everybody in the group, just Nexstar is the largest station group in the country. They control just thousands and thousands of TV stations. They are currently working on a merger with Tegna. It's a $6.2 billion merger. It's going to make them even bigger than they already are. It's basically going to be a monopoly, which they pretty much already have. For anybody not familiar, and I'm not an expert, I just happen to work for a company that just went through a merger. But anytime you're in telecom, you have to get all kind of approvals for your merger. we had like
antitrust stuff, monopoly clauses, all kinds of shit. Yep.
Exactly. And recently, my company just completed their merger on September 1st, and we had the last two we had to wait for was the state of California and the FCC. Now, they need the approval of the FCC for that merger to go through.
They do.
And the head of the FCC, very inappropriately in my mind, it's unethical at the very least, was just on Benny Johnson's show bashing who? Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, Disney. Yep.
So, I mean, we all have to push back against this freedom of speech, this violation of freedom of speech. But we also have to look, like Steve always says, follow the money. This is a $6.2 billion merger. They're trying to appease the FCC and do whatever they can to make sure that goes through. We have to make sure that we're pointing out this corruption as well.
Yeah, isn't it interesting when we face these things? First of all, Drew, I didn't know about your situation. I'm really sorry, man. If I can help, let me know. Maybe we can talk on the phone if you need somebody to vent to. I'm happy to do it.
I appreciate it, man.
The situation with these conglomerates and these massive companies that are just acquiring more and more independence. And as somebody who worked in journalism, I'm certainly just like disgusted by that. But again, a contradiction from what conservatives have always talked about. Like, they don't want those kinds of things. They've been in opposition of that kind of shit. They don't want people violating antitrust laws and all that kind of stuff. And here we are now. They're supporting it, and they don't want to make their connections. They don't want anything to do with Project 2025, or so they say. But when the FCC chair, who's one of the Brendan Carr, who's one of the contributors to Project 2025, is talking about, again, the consolidation of media, it's not only a tenet of fascism, but it is the destruction of what we consider the free press.
100%.
Yeah. Listen, man, keep your chin up. Okay, Drew. Drew's been a part of our community for a very long time, and as we've seen on more than one example today, when men can be in their feelings and can be honest and accountable for the things that they're going through and speak to it, these are the people in our lives that make a difference. So I love you, brother. If I can do something, like I said, message me. If we need to talk, I got you.
Will do. Love you too, man, and thank you everybody in this community for everything, basically.
We got you, buddy. Hang in there. See you later.
Take care, bud.
Okay. This is crazy. I'm just going to get on the list, friends. I can't promise we'll get to everybody today. I'll do my best. And a lot of people want to talk. That's why we're here. Crampin, how are you today?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you doing?
Doing fine. Thank you for asking. What's on your mind?
Good. I just have an opinion. I kind of want to get some opinion of something that's happening in my local area. After the Charlie Kirk thing happened, a local female in a high school decided to voice that she would, a local young high school woman decided to start a chapter of the Turning Point USA in our local area. I guess I'm feeling a little uneasy about this and what this could mean for the local area. I almost feel like it's like cult-like. And I just don't know if this is, am I correct in my feelings? Is this something that is going to start popping up in more areas?
I would say absolutely. And I think this is so. If you see it happening, it's already too late.
Yeah.
So the problem is that there's never really been a coordinated response, a proactive response from the left. It's always been a reactive response. And that's why I say do something. That's why I tell people maybe you could run for school board. Maybe people who are in these communities, if they're starting to hear rumblings, that what is your opposition? What group could you consider starting? That's why I want to advocate for people like who are connected to indivisible.org. Again, you can find the link in the link tree in my bio. I am not paid or funded by that organization. It's all at all. I just want people to know that. But those are groups that are coordinating in all 50 states. who could provide resources, who could provide support, who could support guidance. To your question, yes, it is a cult. There's no doubt about it. Moms of Liberty is a cult connected to Christian nationalism. There's no denying it. I'm not gonna pull punches when we talk about it anymore, because that's exactly who the fuck they are. So what we have to think about is, what is the response?
Yeah, and it makes me uneasy too to know that, in our area it is a predominantly Caucasian populated area. Not too many colored folks around here, and it hurts my heart and it makes me sick to know that, this is a high school student that is starting this. And it just makes me sick to my stomach, truly.
Yeah, I agree. This is the red pill. This is the red pilling. These are the kinds of things, to be honest, that Charlie Kirk influenced, quite frankly. And this is why we say there's cause and effect, and this is what happens. And people on the left have a lot to unpack. There's a lot of people on the left who ideologically who are aligned with things that we should be aligned with, but did not stop, did not push back, did not organize. You can say one thing you want about the right, as horrible as their politics are, they are organized and they are loyal to the cause and they are dedicated. And we don't see that enough on the left. We just don't.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Did I miss something? I don't know if I missed something. Hang on one second, guys. Let me just okay. Sorry. On that particular topic, I do think it's important to, before I bring up our next guest, there was another statement that was made by the twice impeached, four-time indicted sexually abusing fraudster convicted felon name on a list. And he said, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, this is in all caps, Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommended that those funding Antifa, again in all caps, be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Who's the leader of Antifa? I don't know who that is. Who would that be? Who would that be? Did I miss something? Did I miss a comment that was made? I'm sorry if I did. Yeah. Who would that be? Who would that person be? Did somebody? If I missed something, I'm sorry. I might have been distracted. If there's something that someone said that I missed it, my apologies. I don't tolerate derogatory speak. So if I missed something, I'm sorry about that. It might have just gone right over my head. Sorry. There's a lot going on in my brain at the moment here. My apologies if that snuck through. I'd like to think people know that I don't jive with that shit. Partay Dad, how are you today? Partay Dad, are you there? I guess not. Oh, I didn't know that she said that. My apologies, guys. I'm sorry that slipped through.
That's all right.
Hi, Joe.
It's my first time watching your show, and I was just. Is there a specific criteria, or is it just we're just talking about anything?
We're just talking. Whatever's on your mind.
I'm just very disappointed with Trump. There's so much stuff that people don't even know about his administration. I don't know. We don't like cults, right? We want children to be protected, and this Epstein list is not being exposed. And one of the things I don't think a lot of people don't realize is that he had Bondi when she was in Florida. She was taking money from a cult. In some countries they don't recognize this cult as a religion. However, in this country, it's recognized as a religion, and it's a supposedly a religion, and their main base is in Clearwater, Florida, which is called Scientology. And she has taken money from their campaign, and they're known to have child trafficked people. They have known to human traffic people and use slave labor in their organizations. And she took money from them, and she has also spoken at their compound. And I think there's something to do with her that she's helping cover up stuff, because she probably has helped cover up things for them, because this organization had infiltrated the government. He also had Grant Cardone, who was another top level person in that organization, or I call cult. He spoke at the rally in Manhattan in the Madison Square Garden. And it's very scary, because I'm like, why are you're supposedly, worried about kids, you're worried about them exposed to things, but you're not really going after people that are doing harm to children in this country too. We're so worried about people coming in and they're trafficking them from, that they're being trafficked from like the southern border. But what about the kids here? What about the kids in our country? And you see the gas prices keep going up. There's nothing. I'm driving home. I dropped my daughter off from school. I'm like, why is this was like $2.80 something, and now why is your gas station $3.09, $3.10? I'm going to the grocery store and I see that my cereal is like up 30 cents. And you turn around and you get a premium in the mail, and your homeowner's policy is up more than $1,000 this year. Things are not better. Things are getting tighter. No. And I'm another Jewish person calling right now. Don't forget that not everybody is into Jesus. There are other people in this country that worship other gods and have different types of observances. And it's not right that you cannot push religion on people. I don't condone any kind of political violence or get people getting unalived. But the problem is that you can't promote people, that you can't just push one thing on people. There are other religions. You have to recognize people, that have different faiths. And you can't just say, oh, you have to do this for Jesus and blah. I'm like, well, I don't recognize, that's not my faith. And it's unbelievable. So I'm just really venting. I see the economy is very bad. Things are so tight, and the medications, you try to get it filled, and your pharmacy is like, oh, they won't pay this much, and you have to pay higher, and you're scrounging around for this GoodRx thing. Things are just not good. It's just not good, and it's a lot of hypocrisy.
It's why we need more community, Jill. It's the reason that we kind of do this every day, just to remind people that we're all in this fight together. I appreciate you jumping in today.
Take care. It's very upsetting. I could cry about everything what I'm seeing lately. It's terrible.
With you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
Bye bye.
I appreciate you. See you later. I guess there was a comment made, a derogatory term made, and I'm sorry I missed it, friends. I appreciate the chat checking me on that. It may not have been intentional. It may have been a reference. I don't know. I just missed it. My apologies. Okay. There's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of folks in the chat. I'm just rolling down the list and just pulling up people who've requested, and we'll just navigate it because that's what we try to do. The actor, how are you today?
Hey, my friend. How are you?
I'm well. What's on your mind?
So, I was going to tell you, with this whole situation with Charlie, there's a lot of speculation running around. You asked a good question. You said, where do we go from here? What do we do? The thing is, we don't even know the truth. So how can we even plan and come together when we don't even know what's really happening? There's so many narratives being pushed in every direction on why this gentleman was unalived. But I just feel like we're never going to know the truth. Our attention span is so short. We jumped from three serious things in this country, and it just keeps going. And I feel like it's all intentional. It's all intentional to pull us in different directions, so we don't have a plan, so we don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think there are some things that we do know, though, that the current administration is corrupt. They We do know that. We do know that they are covering up all kinds of things. We certainly do know
Absolutely.
that. We do know that they are protecting each other from being exposed as a result of the Epstein files. We do know that.
Right.
We do know that the Trump administration, Donald Trump in particular, and his children are enriching themselves on the back of the American taxpayer. We do know that. Those are things that we know. So we oftentimes in our space, we kind of focus on the things that we know. And then I will offer my opinions on things, but again, those things are obvious. We know that stuff. In regards to what happened in Utah, there's all kinds of stuff. Like I don't believe that the text messages they released are real. I think they're fake.
No. They're fake. You know, it's funny you said that. It's funny you bring that up because me and my son were watching.
In my opinion, I'm going to say in my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, in my opinion also, like, you know, my son is 22. Ironically enough, my son is in the academy now to become a police officer. And we literally were watching the text messages and we looked at each other. He said to me, he goes, "Pops, that sounds like a cop wrote that. 22-year-olds don't talk like that." Yeah. And it's absolutely true.
Yep. I ran it through my children and I talked about it. I've got 23, 21, and soon to be 18. They all said the same things. Like, we don't talk like that.
We don't talk like that. Yeah, it's exactly what he said to me. He goes, that sounds like, you know, sergeants, politicians putting that together. It's such a lie. And the other thing too, they keep talking about these bullets that have these inscriptions on them. I haven't seen anything. Have you? Have you seen these writings on these bullets that they're talking about?
Well, there's, again, to your point about what is real and what isn't, we saw some photographs early on of some of the imagery and as it was described. And keep in mind that the narrative has changed so many times, and large legacy media outlets initially and irresponsibly launched a narrative that was wrong that they had to correct. The problem is that the right wing took the opportunity to say, "You see, we told you." And then now that the seed was planted in the right wing ecosphere, irresponsibility of legacy media showed up, because then they had to retract the story, and no one bothered to focus on the retraction. So we covered the retraction. Because, you know, it may be falling on deaf ears, but our job here is to try to inform people. But you're right. I mean, again, strictly my opinion, educational purposes only, TikTok, strictly my opinion. I think I was 50-50 when they first came out. Then I went to 40-60. And then since then, I believe that they're fake. I believe.
Yeah, I believe that they're fake too. Yeah, my opinion is the same. And the other, you know, I knew we were in trouble when the unfortunate situation happened in Utah, which I don't condone that at all for anybody.
Right.
I do believe in freedom of speech, no matter what you're saying. If I disagree with it or if I think it's repulsive, you deserve to go home and live your life. But the one thing I did notice, and I said, like, oh, here we go, back to September 11th again. I just felt like I was being fed lies. Is when we didn't even know the young man's name. They were automatically pointing the finger to the left. It was the left. You had senators that have seats saying that it was the left. It was the left. And I said to myself, I was like, okay, why is anybody asking, okay, so what's his name? We didn't even know his name, and they were pointing the finger at us.
Right.
And I knew at that moment, wow, we're in trouble. Yet again, we're going to go through this again, and we're never going to find out the truth. But hopefully I'm wrong on that, you know. But thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Sure thing. Thanks for being here, Hector. I appreciate you very much. Like we discussed yesterday with RTP, yes, Mr. Robinson was absolutely radicalized, but he was radicalized because his faith and his religion told him to hate people, in particular queer people, in particular people who are in the LGBTQI community. And in my belief, that this is not a political hit in any way. This was someone who in his own family couldn't feel safe about expressing his own sexuality. I believe he was a person who spent a lot of time on the internet, who realized that he may be gay and was perhaps had a relationship with someone, although we do not know. The only evidence of this relationship are these supposed text messages that I think are fake. And the irresponsibility of journalism, once again, out to spin a narrative. How do I want to say this? If you were so afraid about the actual information connected to political violence being exposed to the public, then why would you delete the report that unpacks all of it? Then they want to go to the YouGov to the YouGov poll that came out on the same day. And I'm going to take this opportunity to address that right now because I knew this was going to happen. So the YouGov poll, what the right wanted to say is that the Gen Z were advocating for celebrating political violence. Not at all what they said, and we know that because of the question that was asked. The question that was asked was, is it okay to be happy about the death of a public figure one opposes? That's the question. The answer is yes or no. Not that they're celebrating it, but that would be a free speech exercise. 24%. Not 50, not 60, what they're trying to say. You got elected officials, Ted Cruz amongst them, going out and trying to twist the narrative of the story. The question again, is it okay to be happy about the death of a public figure one opposes? The answer is yes. That's a question. You can agree or disagree, but it's not. They tried to twist it that the left, especially the Gen Z on the left, is out celebrating it. No. That's the question. So don't let them spin that fucking bullshit narrative. Don't let them spin it. Don't let them spin that. It gets worse. I just want to take a quick little pause here because the vice president, as you know, decided to sit in Charlie's chair, literally, and host his podcast, which is just whatever. But I want to play some of the sound from it because this is something that well, here you go.
It's a well-funded, well-respected family, and Charlie's remains in Arizona. I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War.
Wait for it.
George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation.
So let's throw a little anti-Semitism in there, shall we, JD?
Nation, and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously. But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words."
Really? Really, JD? Really? Well, that's why we bring the fucking receipts. So buckle the fuck up, Thrillbilly Elegy.
Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
Wow, interesting. So what was that again, JD? What was that?
Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously. But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that.
Okay. Again, I just want to make sure the same person, your friend, Charlie Kirk, the racist, your buddy.
Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot.
It's why we do what we do here. JD Vance hosting Charlie Kirk's platform, defending the indefensible. Literally defending the indefensible. Because he knows that the people who watch Charlie will not go back and look for that clip. Instead, they'll just say, JD told me, they didn't say anything like it. And then when we look up the clip, what will they say? They'll say, oh, it's AI, or it's taken out of context, or whatever else. Okay. That's why we do this shit. I want to kind of just real quickly, I'm going to get back to our guests today because I know a lot of people want to talk. As I've referenced before, the Necessary Conversation podcast. I don't play as many clips as I used to because it's just the parents are just so far gone. But this was a really interesting moment to me. And it kind of, I think it personifies exactly what we've talked about before. People who don't think what Charlie Kirk said is racist are racist. People who don't think that what Charlie Kirk says about women or the derogatory terms he says about the trans community in particular, they don't think it's transphobic because they're transphobic. They don't think that what he says is just so demeaning and degrading to women because they demean and degrade women. So this was the question that was being asked about some of the things that Charlie Kirk said, and this was the commentary, and this is very telling.
Okay, so what about all the other clips then about him saying black lesbians taking out his appendix and black people shouldn't be doing this and that?
You want a black lesbian taking yours? Taking
Wouldn't
your
care.
appendix out?
I don't care.
Do you?
The black
Yes.
pilot.
Do you? You
Yes.
think that's the best surgeon you can find?
Okay, chill.
It's a piece of shit.
The black pilot thing that he
Yeah.
said, I totally agree with.
So
there
you're
were
racist as well.
pilots
We
put
know
into
this.
those airplanes, DEI, for jobs that they had to fill. What if they don't even know how to fly an airplane?
Okay, so
what
this
if they're
all makes
not
sense.
qualified?
Okay.
This is all
You're
making
saying-
sense.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are clearly racist, homophobic,
Very, yes.
misogynist. It aligns.
I
So
agree.
they feel sorry for Charlie Kirk because they are Charlie Kirk. It's that easy.
I believe in God.
Fine with me.
I
I'd rather be Charlie Kirk.
You omitted
Some-
all of this shit. You didn't post
some
anything about
lesbian-
him.
Stop that. Stop that. part.
You're whatever you're saying is it doesn't matter. We all know that you hate everyone.
Okay.
Right. So how do you crack through that? Like how do you crack through it when you don't want a black lesbian working on your brain? Did you ever walk on a plane and say, gosh, I hope that white pilot is qualified? No, you don't. You don't do that. You just don't do that. This is another one. Haley and Mom going at it here. This is again just a fundamental. You have two paths. You are faced with one. Are you going to be a racist or are you not? I'd like to think it wouldn't be that hard, but apparently it is. So here you go.
What you didn't post was all of his shit where he talks about women basically need to go to college to get their Mrs. degrees.
I love that.
Mom loves that. Go to college to get your Mrs. degree.
Taylor Swift needs to submit to her husband and start having babies. You love that?
Where did you meet your husband?
Oof.
Where did you meet your husband?
I went to college to attain an education.
Where did you meet your husband?
Are you that stupid? You think I went to college to find a husband and get married? I went to get an education so I could live a life.
We better stop.
I was lucky enough to meet somebody in college. I didn't go for that reason.
You know what?
That is the most uneducated view of women
Let her talk.
in our country. Like, what is wrong with you guys? You have granddaughters. You really think that my worth is wrapped up in just being a wife and a mother?
Why not?
Think that's all I'm worth?
No, but why not?
What if I don't choose that?
If that's what you want to do in your life,
What if you don't?
there's nothing wrong with that.
What if you don't? They want to make that this is a white nationalist Christian conservative. It's Project 2025. They don't want women educated. They want us out of education. They don't want us to have jobs. And you agree with that because of God? Your God.
Oh, see, there's a problem right there.
What you didn't put.
So this is a clip that I played from this podcast. It's called the Necessary Conversation podcast. You can find it on YouTube. It's a family. It's Haley and Chad are the kids and mom and dad. And mom and dad mainline Newsmax all day. Especially dad. He's a pathetic fucking racist. He is one of the most despicable humans I've ever had any kind of experience with, whether he's grandstanding for the show or whatever else. But Haley and Chad have decided that they wanted to have this podcast because they couldn't talk to their parents. They love their family. They love their parents. They wanted to have a relationship with their parents, but the only way they could ever get out the things that they wanted to get out was this podcast. And Haley has finally reached the point where I think she's just done. Like her own mother said, the only value you have is to be a wife and a mother. And Haley's like, what if I don't want to be a wife and a mother? Does that imply then that I don't have value? I play that because I know that there are probably a lot of families in this country that are struggling with that too. And the overwhelming majority of those families don't have the outlet of a podcast. And the acknowledgement, did you notice, and I played the previous clip about the things that Charlie Kirk said about black pilots? Mom's like, yeah, I agree with that. I don't want a black pilot either. I want the most qualified. Never mind that the black pilot may be the most qualified. There's always a qualifier for racists. And they don't even want, not even a pushback, just an acknowledgement. Dad's laying all in. Yeah, I don't want a fucking black lesbian working on my body. I don't want a black pilot because you're racist, because you're transphobic, because you're a misogynist, because you're a fucking bigot. Just like so many people that are in the cult these days, all those adjectives would apply. People who don't think racist things are racist are racist. People who don't think horrible things about the trans community are transphobic is because they are transphobic. People who don't think their words are signs or examples of bigotry is because they are bigots. I would just prefer the racist Christian nationalists in our country these days would just wear a shirt that says, hey, just so we're clear, I'm a racist bigot. At least you know, going in, not to spend any brain power talking to them. No, they can't do that though, because they're fucking cowards at the same time. Cowards. Man, oh man. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you today?
Hi, that's an understatement of a question to ask, given
Fair.
everything. First off, I want to thank you for always being here for your community. We appreciate everything that you do. And today especially has been kind of a very emotional, rough morning. I relate to so much. I am a single mom of 2 special needs kids with a complete MAGA family. So I have, I don't mean to cry like everyone else, but I have since.
It's okay, Michelle.
My mom
you.
died almost 2 years ago, and I've had to sever ties with my complete family. So the only person I have is my cousin who is non-MAGA, but my dad who is in his 70s and total MAGA, and I am struggling mentally to even deal with him on a regular basis because I'm all he has now out here where we're at. And I told him that I was applying for passports because of the economic stance and my situation with my kids. I'm terrified for their lives because they're mixed children and they're disabled and they're going to be with me indefinitely. And I'm scared for their futures. I'm scared for mine. My dad had it out with me about even applying for passports. But then when I cried to him and explained that I needed to look out for their futures, he helped pay for the process. So I feel like there's a point where I can get through to him But every day he's saying, well, I haven't heard any of that on the news. I'm going to have to turn on the news and figure out what's going on. I'm like, Dad, you're not going to find the information on the news. You need to branch out and research what's going on and be more aware. But I'm finding myself more involved in just this community right here, because this is really all I have. And I'm looking for resources. I'm looking for peace. I don't have a social life. I don't have a dating life. I don't go out because my kids are everything, and that's all I have. And I'm currently looking for remote work because I have to be home with my child, who is severely disabled. So if anyone has any resources for remote positions, anything helps. But also some peace of mind about the fact that what we're doing is the right path, and we will make a breakthrough eventually and stop this insane administration. I'm so fearful for my kids and myself. Where do we go?
Michelle, without sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I'm just saying, where do we go from here? What do we do? How can we?
If you don't mind telling us where, without getting too specific, where do you live? What state are you in?
I'm in California, so I do feel a sense of peace being in a blue state, but the resources are still limited in my small town.
I got you. I understand that. So as we've learned this morning from our community, depending on what it is that you want to do, I think the amazing power of what we've all built here together is the opportunity to build community, but connections. We've gotten jobs for people. We've helped people stay in their homes. We've done all these kinds of things because people here, and I'm so incredibly grateful for it, have decided that those are the things that really should matter. So here you are now. So you're now part of our family, and I just followed you. Not sure if you're a private account, but I just followed you.
I am because my family.
That's fine. That's fine. I understand. I completely understand. But have you joined our Discord?
I have not. No, I don't go on Discord. I'm not familiar with it.
I get it. So one of our mods will likely reach out to you through either through DM, or you can find the link that's in the link tree in my bio. That is a spot where a lot of people post all kinds of things, whether it be job opportunities that they have or companies that they've used in the past to help them find work. All these kinds of things. This is what community does. And you said something is really, really important. These are the kinds of things like that we sort of have to do to kind of help each other. And that's when I started doing this a long time ago. I never really thought of that particular impact. It was always in my mind, like we can try to build a community, but it's turned into what I would have never dreamed it would turn into. Situations like this, people to come up here and to be vulnerable and to be transparent and realize that you're not alone. You're not, because you're not, I can guarantee you're not alone just from the conversation we've had this morning. There are other people that are out there struggling. And if the only thing we can do is help you find your people, then we're all in.
Thank you.
Then we're all in.
I so appreciate you and everything you do. And I recommend you to everyone I come in contact with if they want hardcore factual information about the current events and what's going on in general. You are always my go-to. So, and I watch you every day. Thank you. I appreciate everything that you do for us.
I appreciate that, Michelle. But again, it's the collective. So again, we'll reach out to you. We'll make sure that you get in Discord. We'll check the link in the Discord. Some people said that it was working today. Some people said that it wasn't. If I can figure out Discord, believe me, if I can figure out Discord, anybody can figure out Discord. So, but there, like I said, there's a mutual aid section in there. There are resources. There are training tools. I've helped people with resumes, all kinds of shit. I mean, this is what we do. If you're committed to helping others, then our community goes all in. So if you're willing to be part of our community, we'd love to have you. We will be gum on your shoe as well.
Yes, and if anyone has any resources on caregiver burnout, because after 24 years of doing this, I'm exhausted mentally. I'm just drained, and with, like I said, the current state of everything, I'm finding it harder and harder to just stay motivated to continue on. It's so hard.
I get that, and as someone who I'm the caregivers. People who've ever, especially parents and siblings, who've ever had to be part of caregiving for children either with special needs and or disabled, or kids going through, life-threatening illnesses. Caregivers would never ask for any recognition, but just never get the recognition that they deserve. So on behalf of all of us, thank you for what you do.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone in the comments. I appreciate the love and support. And I know my account is private to kind of stray from my family
gotcha.
who started harassing
Understood.
me after my mom died because I severed ties with them. But I will gladly accept your guys' friend requests. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
We appreciate you, Michelle. Hang in there, okay?
We love you.
Talk to you
Thank
soon. All right, I love you too. All right, bye.
Bye.
It's real life, man. This shit is real life. Everybody, if you want to join Discord, you can message Sam. It's a simple process. It's just a couple verifications. We just try to make sure that we can protect our community. We're asking you to join us, and we want to make sure that we're doing our best to make sure that you remain safe in our community. That's our goal. It's free to join. We don't care. Just join it, because there's all kinds of resources in there and all kinds of opportunities to allow people to connect. Okay. Hi. How you doing?
Breathe in the flowers, blow out the candles. That's how we breathe
I like
these
that.
days.
I like that.
How are you,
How you
my
doing?
friend?
I'm okay.
It's been a
I'm
week,
okay.
right? It's been a week.
It's been a week. It's been a week, but the beauty of what we've built here collectively just on full display today, for sure.
You know, I've only been able to listen the past hour, and just that alone has filled my cup today. And it's interesting because in my, professional world, oftentimes I'm helping people navigate some really uncomfortable shit, right? It's kind of what I do. And collectively as a country, the things that we need to do to handle that shit is the same stuff we do individually in our lives. And so I'm finding a lot of comfort in understanding we can apply those things. And, to the last guest, bless you, Michelle. We're here for you. I'm so glad that people have found this community, and I'm so grateful that you, sir, continue to do this every day. I wake up at 5 a.m. here on the left side of the country, just to make sure I start my day with this family. And so I just want to tell you I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone. You keep my cup filled. This community keeps my cup filled. And, we're all going through it, because I had a client put it so succinctly. I'm really having a hard time with the person I've become because of this. And that's what I'm struggling with the most. And so I'm using all the things that you taught me to deal with that. And one of the things that we teach, teach, because DBT is a really skilled base approach in the world of psychology. If anybody's ever been to therapy and your therapist ever talked to you about mindfulness and distress tolerance and radical acceptance, that's dialectical behavior therapy. And so I just wanted to share a couple of things that might be helpful to the community today. One of the concepts from that is this concept of radical acceptance, which basically is, yes, there is suffering. Yes, there is tough stuff in the world. Yes, it is all true. And it is what it is. And I will survive it. And I can survive it, and I have. And I will continue to. And I will continue to do what I can do for me, with others, and make the choices. I get to choose how I respond to the suffering that exists. It's this duality of, yep, it's shitty, and I am still here. My grandson, or back in the, I don't know, things go by so fast, terminology wise, but I remember him oftentimes saying, but did you DIE though? It was hard, and it was hard, but did you DIE though? No, you didn't. You're still here. Oftentimes my clients will come in and they'll be like, oh, it's so rough. How are you today? Well, I'm on this side of the dirt, so I'm going to take the win today. I'm still here. We're all still here. we are all still here, and we all have the choice to respond to the suffering that we're feeling. And we have some agency still. And one of the beautiful things that you always encourage everyone to do in this live, and you end it every day with, what do you say? Do something, right? So, and that something is whatever you need to do to feel what you need to, you know, to ease yourself. And so, thank you. Thank you for getting up every day and doing what you do. I love you beyond measure. And I feel like we haven't been able to talk for so long because life has been so heavy. And, you know, in my work, I'm working so much, and, you know, over here fighting the good fight in Phoenix, trying to keep everybody sane that comes into my chair. So I appreciate being here to be able to, you know, when things happen and I come in the Discord, you know, I can just unload, and I don't have to be the put together, emotionally regulated therapist all the time with our fam. And it means
That's true.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, our little mod chats are our therapy sessions in and of themselves. That's for sure. That is for sure. And I mean, and if you miss an hour, you're like, holy shit, I got like 9 hours of reading that I have to kind of go through.
Legit, I have to set aside an hour when I get home just to catch up on the chat. But you know, when things happen, where do I go? Immediately, I go to our mod chat. You know, the Jimmy Kimmel thing came out last night. Immediately, I went to the chat to just be like, oh my God, I don't even know where we go from here. But then I have to go. Okay, well, here we go. It's this thing of like, I feel like I know what the frog who's in the pot where the water just keeps getting turned up might feel like. Like, I don't know how to jump out of this pot. And that can get really overwhelming. Especially when I got a lot of other frogs in here with me and we're all doing the same suffering.
Oh, we're all frogging together.
Man.
Well, you know, you know how I feel about you, and you've helped me get through a lot of shit. So I can't thank you enough for being part of our community. I appreciate you. I love you, Fred.
Love you beyond measure. You betcha.
All right, bye. I've seen a lot of people wanting to join Discord today. That makes me feel great. I'm so glad about that. And like I said, it's our community, and it can be. It's this. I always tell people, and this may sound stupid, but when you come into the space, whether you're in the Discord or if you're in the chat or if you're a guest on the panel, I want people to consider it your space. This is not my space. My name's on it just because you have to for TikTok purposes, but it's not my space. This is our space. This is what community is. This is what I've always imagined community to look like, where we lean in on each other. You know, we call each other out. We all hold each other accountable. I've got people that hold me accountable for things that I say, and I know that I can hold other people accountable. That's what you want. I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of people that agree with me. I don't. In fact, we have this communication in our mod chat, and I challenge people, and I throw out ideas, and I'm like, I don't know about this, guys. What do you think about this? And I need that. And that's what community is, and that's what I want community to be. And I don't take the words "do something." It's not just flippant. I truly mean it. Like, what the fuck are we going to do? How do we do it? What can we do? So, yeah. So that's that.
Hello.
And Dowd, how are you today?
I'm doing all right. I just kind of wanted to come up and say, as someone who grew up in a very religious and Christian fascist household, that the best way that you can
Yes.
Of the time community, and I've recently joined like my local chapter of the PSL and other stuff to kind of get out there and do, like, going to a protest about something that you're hearing about or seeing can be really cathartic.
Yeah, community, right? Whatever that might be. You know, there's the human connection. I mean, and I think this has been studied. Thanks for jumping in today. And I got a lot of folks I'm going to try to get to before the end of the show today, but I appreciate being here. I think a lot of what we're seeing, a lot of the stress and anxiety, we can point back to C19. a lot of isolation. I was having a conversation last night about, full transparency, dating life, right? Shit like that. It's just like, those are the kinds of things that, you get distracted and you got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and you kind of miss human connection. So, and I know people are isolated, and I know people are scared, and I know people don't want to go out of their houses, but we built a community here. So if it's a couple hours a day or whatever that might be, or other creators that you like, or maybe it's hobbies, all those kinds of things. These things are important. Human connection is really, really important. And I hope people, I don't want people to ever forget that. I'll put it that way. I know. Can people date? Exactly. No. Hey, Sue, how are you today? Sue, are you there? Sue? I guess not. Hi, Nanny. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you and how's everybody? I hope you're all in a good status. So first thing, you're welcome. I want to ask, just in case I wake up one morning and I cannot find this show, where can I find you? Because as we know that the deal has been done already yesterday, so what are the other options that we can be together again?
Well, we're working on that, and it's been on me. There are some technical things that I still do not have to be able to broadcast from YouTube and then stream to TikTok. I know that other creators have it. I just don't have the resources right now to make that happen. It requires some different hardware. It requires some equipment, and I'm trying to figure that out. So as it sits right now, we stream from here to YouTube. So eventually the goal will be YouTube being our hub, and we will stream to Twitch and to TikTok. So I need some help with it, and I've got a lot of people that are willing to try to help me get things set up, but I just don't have the hardware that I need. So that's what I'm waiting for.
So if you can put like a number, you need this number to make this happen, please let us know. So of course we like to share, because as you said, this is our community.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I struggle asking for help with that kind of stuff, just because a lot of people have a lot of shit going on. But I appreciate you saying that, and maybe I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. So you're welcome. The second thing is I want to speak to Freedom, because he's the only one that I can remember the name. Hey man, I want to tell you something. Okay, all of us, me, sometimes I wake up very desperate, cry, what will we do? But the second day, I'm good. Maybe it's a hormonal thing, or I don't know. But I will tell you something that one of my friends that we have been graduated together, and he moved from our country to here too, and he told me that many times. Whenever he faces a problem and he feels that he is hopeless, he cannot do anything, he said that, I remember your position. You're a single mom of 2 kids. You came from our country, moved to Europe for a couple of years, and then moved to the US. You are facing a lot of problems, you were and you still. So, and I said to myself, if she can do it, I can do it. So here, Freedom, I'm a single mom with 2 sons. We don't have any family members here, a little community of friends. Me, myself, had to leave my 2 sons in a blue state to continue their higher education, and I have to move to a red state because this is the only option that I can practice my license and have a good salary to be able to support them financially until they finish their education. So if and as I told you yesterday, maybe I felt fear for them and for myself. I shut up I closed my Facebook, and here made my account private because I had some harassment from my own people, my Egyptian people. So if I can face that, of course, you as a white man have your own family here, live in your own country, speak your own language, you don't have an accent, you can do that. You can do that. Especially you said you live in a blue state. So it's a privilege. Okay, today you're cried, you're disappointed, tomorrow you will be fine.
Well said, Danny.
And try to do something good, even if it's small. Yesterday, I saw a girl that is working with me, and she was facing a very hardship.
Oop.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I had a
Yes,
phone call.
got you.
Okay.
It's okay.
So,
It's okay.
I said, okay, now I'm moving from a city to another city. I need every single dollar that I have. But this girl cannot have her car out of the court to be able to go to work. So I did something good and I helped her. And I was so happy that the bad situation, bad people, bad whatever couldn't change the good thing in me. So you can do a small thing every day. You can even, if you see a homeless person, just tap their shoulder and say, everything will be fine. We are here for you. Even if you say this sentence, it will be very good and it will make you feel good. So don't make the bad situation defeat you. This is what they want, to keep us silent, to defeat us. Don't give them
Agreed.
that chance.
Agreed. Thank you, Nanny, for jumping in today again. I
You're
appreciate you.
welcome. Have a great day for
Good
everyone.
to talk to you. You too.
Thank
See you later. Just give me a minute, guys. I'll play you a little interlude of whatever. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. What a day. Exactly. What a day. I wouldn't trade it for anything, though. Because easy's boring. This is the hard shit. Matters. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Steve. Sorry, you had to hang up on me when you got to me, and I wasn't there because the Amazon guy came right when I was outside, and you answered, and I'd been waiting a long time. And he said he'd never talked to me, and he said every time I drive up, I see your bumper stickers, and it makes me happy. And that's the first happy thing that I've heard all day because I thought he might attack me, verbally attack me, because I
Wow.
live
Well,
in a
that's great.
No, verbally attacked me because I live in a red state. I live in Southwest Missouri, and people are very openly hostile. And so, anyway, it just made, I just wanted to interject. He told me he feels alone. The Amazon driver did. And I said, I'm just listening to a live right now where people are very despondent. And he said, I am. And he's like, I feel so alone, and it just makes me feel like there's somebody there for me. And I was like, wow, you say do something and you never know what you're going to do. So I try to do
Exactly.
other things that are active, not just passive stuff. But anyway, what I
Well, I
was
like to
calling you
hear that.
about
Go for it.
was I wanted to say how much I appreciate your show and you,
Thank you.
but also
Appreciate you.
Kayla, who called in earlier about the gerrymandering. I went to your link tree and I have a question because I signed up to get signatures, but I can't seem to find anybody. Like, we only have 90 days to get 107,000 signatures, is the way I understand this. And I can't nobody's contacted me about, signature forms or anything. And I've looked a couple of different times. It's People Over Politicians. It's a group, I believe, that's doing it in Missouri. And if you could get Kayla to put some I don't know how to contact her, but if you contact her or whoever's in charge of that, um, or tell me, I just want to find out where do I need to go to get active in this, because I did sign up and we don't have a lot of time. And I just want to make sure that I do my part at trying to defeat this thing that they're trying to do in Missouri.
Okay, so a group called People, thank you, Sam, right on cue. A group, hearts in the chat for Sam, please. A group called People Not Politicians Missouri attempted to file a citizen referendum on Friday shortly after the new map cleared the state Senate. The goal is to put up the map on the 2026 ballot for voters to decide whether or not to implement it. The group's attempt to get its campaign started, they must collect 100,000 signatures in 90 days to put the map on the November 2026 ballot. It ran into an administrative hurdle when the Secretary of State's office refused to certify it until the governor signs the bill into law. Kehoe has 45 days to sign the bill. Over the weekend, however, the Secretary of State's office slightly backtracked, sending a letter to People Not Politicians Missouri explaining that it would begin the process of certifying the referendum petition sample sheet that would be used to gather signatures. The office has sent a copy to the Missouri Attorney General's Office for Legal Review and the state auditor for preparation of a cost estimate. Quote, only after the Attorney General has rendered an opinion on legal sufficiency and the Secretary of State has reviewed those comments can this office make a final determination regarding the approval or rejection of the form of the petition, the letter states.
Oh, okay.
So that's the problem. They apparently it was the same thing with the abortion referendum as well.
Right,
so I think
yeah.
The goal would be to just, in my opinion, just to overwhelm that petition, to have so many signatures on it that it becomes a national news story. So that, you know, again,
that's the way
here's what
the abortion petition happened. We had way over the signatures that we needed, and they still went in there and said, you people are too dumb to know what you were signing, so we're gonna just make the decision ourselves. And they did. They tried everything they could think of to they tried language, they tried all kinds of different things to confuse people, to make it so that, and that's what they're going to do again, I guess. And I guess I just wanted to find out, and I appreciate your help, so I'll just keep an eye on, I guess somebody will contact me if the news is not helpful. The local news is not helpful because I'm not sure that they're not, I think one of them, the main one is Nexstar. So they probably don't even get to report on stuff that is like favorable to this side of the aisle.
Well, Nexstar is connected to the whole situation that happened with Jimmy Kimmel, so I wouldn't trust them either.
Yeah.
Well, keep the faith, Sue. Thank you for jumping in today.
Well, thanks,
I appreciate you
for what you do. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
You got it. See you later. You got it. Bye.
Bye.
Just real quick, I wanted to thank just a few people. Rough day. I want to thank thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much, Aaron. Really appreciate you. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Jolie, Stacy, Dana, as always. Thank you, Linda, Savage Mom, Lisa, Kate, Paige, Nicole. You guys are incredibly amazing people. I appreciate you all very, very much. Thanks for being here. Aaron says, listen to me every day. Thank you, guys. It's great. I appreciate you all very, very much. Let me check over here. Thank you to thank you to Patricia, to Roderick. Thank you so much to Wade. Thank you, Mother Hen. Good to see you, friend. Appreciate you. And also over here, guys are great. This is always very humbling to me. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sandra. Sandra says, thank you for the community you've built, for continuing to fight for democracy. Sending much love from Metro Atlanta. Appreciate you very much. And thank you, Sarah. Sarah says, thank you for selflessly bearing the weight you do. I appreciate that. It's very kind. All right, a few more guests here. We'll go till noon today. Excuse me. Oh, they timed out. Good morning. Are you there? Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? Hello. Good morning. Khadijah?
So during COVID, it made me.
I guess not. As much as I'd love to listen in on other people's conversations, because that's kind of my thing. If you know, you know. I would rather not do that. I would rather not do that. Well, since we don't have anybody else in the box, it's probably a pretty good place to stop. It's been heavy today, but I got to say this. I never take. Oh, I see Victoria's requested, so I'll bring her up, and I'll finish what I was going to say after she comes in and talks to us. Good morning.
How are you?
How you doing? Fine, thank you. How are you?
I caught the Rona, so.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
But that's why I was MIA yesterday. But I'm back in fighting form, ish. Hearing what happened to Jimmy Kimmel yesterday and just like listening to everyone, I posted something today to remind people that courage is not the absence of fear. It's just the ability to act in spite of it. That's not the exact quote, but I want people to understand that we have to keep pushing back. We have to keep pressuring our government to listen, because it does feel a little hopeless at times, but the only way forward is together and to continue pushing back, and calling out asinine comments. I am currently in the middle of a Facebook comment session with someone who is making very inappropriate comments on my Facebook page regarding my post about the Charlie situation. And they did not, specifically, they took offense that I called it pew-pew violence. And I mean this with full disrespect. Get fucked, stay fucked. I don't care what you think about that. The fact that it had happened is unacceptable. And this person is saying I'm slandering them. And I was like, nope, I'm not slandering you. I'm just saying your comments are inappropriate and they are further perpetrating violence. When I'm getting off an EC call with the executive committee of the Tennessee Democratic Party, and we are shutting down offices across the states, and our chair and our vice chair are being actively threatened with violence against themselves, their families, as well as being doxxed, that is unacceptable. And if you're contributing to that narrative, I'm not going to allow you to continue to play victim and act like somehow your opinion is valid. Not all opinions are valid. Not all opinions are welcome. They do have consequences. But he's just going to cry harder in my comments. So if anybody wants to see how I'm handling that, feel free to mosey on over to my Facebook page. But this is someone I actually know in my real life. So keep that in mind. That's the reason I'm not posting pictures of their comments and whatnot, because I do in fact know this person, and I know that this was be their response. So I am approaching it from that mentality. But it's unacceptable. And these people feel comfortable in their fascism. They feel comfortable in their white supremacy. They feel comfortable in their shit takes, and they're uncomfortable when we call them out and call them what they are. Sorry, that was my rant for this morning.
It's okay. It's okay. Very well said. Do you want to plug the other part of your life?
Yeah, guys, I'm running for U.S. Congress. My name is Victoria Broderick. I'm running in District 4 here in Tennessee. Yeah, because I feel like shit right now. This is what happens when you have to work and you don't feel good, guys. So, I mean, I'm running for U.S. Congress, guys. I'm running for better representation, not only for the people in Tennessee, but for people just like you and me. I am a working class mom. I have 2 tiny humans, 4 fur babies I foster with our local humane society. And I want to see change. I want to see representation that looks and sounds and struggles with the same things that every single one of us struggle with. I care about grocery prices. I care about what is going on, down the road at my local school system. I want to make sure that we have better representation. That is why I'm running for office. I do not take corporate money. I do not take APAC money. I do not take Citizens United money, because I believe money should be out of politics. So if any of that sounds good, go to that place in my bio and donate today's date so I can write you a handwritten thank you card, because I am currently working on those as well while I work my liberal job, because I do too much. So
I thank you, my friend. I love you.
Thank you for having me.
Keep up the fight.
Love you.
Appreciate you.
Doing
See you
the
later.
thing.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye. All right. First of all, who are we rating, guys? You guys can let me know in the Discord chat. I appreciate that. Look, I don't ever take for granted, like I was going to say, I don't ever take for granted the community that we created here. And we all need to lean on each other. And if this is a spot for people to feel like they can be safe and vulnerable and transparent, then sign me up, because that's what this is supposed to be about. And I think just we've proven today, just in this 4 hours that we spent together just today on this date, September 18th, right? 2025, the ability to kind of remind others that we're not in this alone. You're not in this alone. The isolation and the fear and the anxiety and the tension and the stress that we're feeling, we're all feeling it. It manifests in different ways for many, many people. It completely does. I mean, it causes, there's the fight or flight, whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not sure if I necessarily buy into that, because there's times when you gotta fight and there's times when you have to fly. But I don't want people to feel alone. If this is the only space that you have in your life to make you feel like you're part of something, that you feel like you've been desperately searching for community, and this is the one that you find, then I'm honored. And our community will open the doors for you. And our community will hopefully put you in contact with other people who are struggling as well. And that's what we do here. That's kind of our goal. We talk about things, we have fun, we get down to shit. We have some heavy contacts and some heavy conversations about a lot of things that are really, really important. And guys know me, I wear the emotions out there and I'll never apologize for it. But if that's something that you need, then this is your spot. 8 to 12, Monday through Friday, Eastern time. I love you all. Let's go raid. Let's go raid Lainey. Defend Us Trans. You guys know Lainey, our friend Lainey. Please go tell them that we said hello. It's Defend Us Trans. Everybody knows Lainey. I think the last time I checked, Lainey was in DC. Not sure if they still are, but let's go raid them. I love you all. Appreciate you guys very, very much. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock.